It's time for Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. The whole gang back together this afternoon. Bryant, Brett, Johnny. Johnny's back. He was under the weather, real sick for the week, but he is back now on Wednesday. I've been feeling like today's been Tuesday all day because
I'm ready for next Monday.
Day. What's that? Oh, next Monday, National Championship, of course.
And we'll feel like Monday.
It'll feel like a regular week. No, I've been not even just here at work, but like even just in my personal life, I've been
all out of whack.
Like I do a Bible study that I go to every Wednesday morning, and last night, and we read a book, and we go through like different chapters or whatever. And so last night they text and they're like, "All right, we good to go tomorrow morning at like 7:30 in the morning." And Brett, I'm not an early riser, nope. And we're ready to go for tomorrow morning. I was with Melinda. I was like, "What are you talking about? Tomorrow's Tuesday." And she goes, No, tomorrow's Wednesday. I got to get home and read. I mean, I got things to do tonight now.
51 more Wednesdays after today.
That's right. So not the start to the new year.
And a goofy leap year.
Oh, it's a leap year.
Whose idea was that? I know to line the calendar up for the seasons. But.
Sure. No, that's always the thing when everyone's like, okay, well, it's always around Christmas season because they'll be like, okay, this year Christmas is on a Monday, and then next year Christmas is on a Wednesday. And I'm going, no, next year Christmas is on a Tuesday. And they'll go, no, it's leap year.
Election year, leap year.
And Olympic year. So
Olympic year in
ton
Paris.
Going on. I may or may not have some Olympics on to talk about later in the show.
Today we make a lot of predictions. Johnny, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
sorry
feeling.
I buried the lead, Johnny.
I'm feeling good, man. I feel way better than what. I'm feeling great, man.
I hope I didn't give it to you.
No, you didn't give nothing to me. It was. It's just it's that time of the season.
It's going around.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, it is. It has been some people that have had it, and Johnny did. Glad you're back and glad you're feeling good. Yeah. We will have a lot of predictions today. Johnny, I hope you didn't have. I hope you didn't. Whatever illness you had, you didn't have what Jordan Brown had. It made him disappear.
Hey, I think me and Jordan Brown had the same thing, man.
I don't know about
you. I can see
back up to work. Jordan Brown hasn't showed back up to work yet.
Nobody's laid eyes on him, and now the talk of David Jones may be being ill, and all seriousness, I hope he's okay. Yeah. And sure hope he doesn't have whatever makes you disappear.
Yeah.
We don't need that, man. We need him here.
And I didn't go to the game on Saturday against Austin Peay, but I think J.J. Taylor was missing again from that game. So another player
sick?
I have no idea. I mean, Penny didn't really have an answer for it after the game.
But Coach said last night David Jones
is sick, and we know he
gives us all pause.
Well, yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, after what happened with Jordan Brown, but no, I mean, we knew that he was getting IVs. I guess 2 weekends ago against Vanderbilt, and so
I was told you can buy liquid IVs now. Have you heard that?
I'm not in the market.
Who was telling me that? Somebody in Atlanta was telling me that.
I believe it.
It really helps.
I mean, I can see a lot of ways.
In fact, I think a pharmacist was telling me that in Atlanta.
Wow, interesting. Well, hopefully they loaded up on them and they're getting it for all these guys. But
there's a lot of IVs with sports teams.
Oh, absolutely.
Isn't it, Johnny?
Absolutely. It really is. It's a lot. And you actually really can buy them, the liquid IVs.
You can?
Yeah, you can buy them.
With or without a prescription?
I think it's more of a prescription thing.
Okay.
I think you got to be prescribed to get it. I don't think just anybody can get that.
Can't go in after a rough night and say, I need me an IV. Gotta get to work in a couple hours.
Now, I know of a big golf tournament that they have IV, country club type tournament, not PGA Tour.
Right.
Local, but a really good 4-ball. They have an IV station.
Really?
Because of the night before.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it. Oh, that's how you do it. And give them an opportunity to go party. I mean,
that's not hair of the dog. That's cheating.
If it's just a local, scramble
among
or something
friends.
like that. Yeah, what are we going to do? We're going to just, these 4 days, we're going to, be strict and diet and not go out and party? No, we're going to go out and have fun.
An IV station.
I love it. That is great. No, but yeah, it's interesting. You mentioned the David Jones being sick, and certainly that's a guy that has been the leader for this Tiger. Oh, easily. And I know Kevin Sweeney, who we'll talk to in a couple hours. He told us last week when he joined us, and then he did it on Friday when he released his midseason All-American team. He had David Jones on that list, and so he did, and so certainly
that's Player of the Year consideration.
Absolutely. So certainly a guy not only for Memphis, but certainly nationally is making headlines. And so if you don't have him, I know it's Tulsa. I think Tulsa's a little bit better than they were last year, but
it's Tulsa.
And it's at Tulsa.
It's Tulsa and Tulsa.
I always remember what happened a couple years ago at Tulsa.
Whether it's Tulsa or Oral Roberts there, historically for the University of Memphis, it's been some goofy stuff, good and bad.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I know we'll talk a lot more about it tomorrow, kind of leading up to the game. But, I mean, I hope everyone's healthy and is able to play. But definitely when you see that tweet, I think Jason Munn tweeted out last night, that definitely kind of worries you a little bit, as you start conference play.
I was afraid Tiger Bankroll may have made Johnny sick.
Well, it's making me sick to my stomach, I can tell you that.
I did get a little nauseous, Brett.
I can tell, Johnny.
I'm in the red, man.
I think we're all, outside of Brett, I think both of us are in the red.
Johnny now 5-8 on the season, down to 625. You got to watch your money, man.
You do got to watch your money.
I mean, you're a grown man, but I can't tell you how to spend your money.
We can't be throwing out hundreds anymore. No, you got
to watch it, Johnny.
You got to play in the teens.
I mean, I hate to have to get with your parents and get on you about your
we got to figure out a plan.
Yeah, good Lord.
Bryant's at 745. Bryant, you have had
like
5 straight losses.
I was about to say, oh, man.
5 straight.
I like this team too much. I mean, fall in love with them, Brian. You don't know how to pick against them.
Me too, Brian.
I'm at 13-10, and I'll tell y'all, I'm playing defense.
Here's the thing.
Low stakes for me the rest of the way.
Here's a small peek behind the curtain. There are people that I follow on social media, people that I follow on the various things they do, and they are not gamblers per se. They are former odds makers. Mm-hmm. And these 1 or 2 people I follow, they will put out their own
former odds maker. What makes you a former odds maker?
Good question.
I think you got jilted.
Yeah, it might have, but the couple people I follow that do that, they put out their own lines for like every college basketball game, and I promise you, Brett, every single game we have picked this year has been right on the line of what they have it as.
Is that right?
Right, and KenPom too. KenPom the exact same way.
It's so good, it's scary.
A lot of times I'll go to KenPom and go, okay, because like if it's something like you're playing Austin P. How many times have we watched Austin P. And it's a 16 and a half.
It's like a lot of those Olympic sports. Yeah, we can fake it for 2 weeks every year.
Exactly, and so I'll go to KenPom and be like, all right, what is he predicted? Right on the number. Every single game this year has been right on the number. So
another thing I thought may have made Johnny ill, but should have made him too ill. The bowl picking.
No, that really made me sick.
Hey, man. It just all piled on at one time, man.
21-20 in your first year doing it.
And it's over 500.
Over 500.
Good.
I was proud of myself.
Bryant, 21-20.
I don't want to hear it.
And again.
Bro, we were neck and neck on Friday. I mean.
And I'm telling you, I've never lost the bowl picking contest through all the years. Any host, producer, champion again. Y'all are already door me. 24-17 for Brett. I went third person too.
Sure did. I mean,
I love it. I love it. I love it.
That's a bad look. Hey, to be bragging and go third person, Johnny.
Hey, Brett, I love that you are a sore winner. I love that. I love it.
That's just being a terrible winner.
Bryant has breaking news. From
third person.
There we go. From the Memphis football team, Jonah Dillon is reporting that Jordan Hankins, who was the interim defensive coordinator for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, leading the Tigers to a massive win and leading them to holding Iowa State to 0 rushing yards the entire game, has been promoted to defensive coordinator.
We talked about it, didn't we, John?
Yeah, he earned that. I'm so happy for him. He really deserved that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Some other changes.
I think the locker room would have been very irritated.
And honestly, I think there were a lot of fans that watched that game. Brett, we talked about getting fans invested again. I think there are a lot of fans that you can sell that defensive coordinator on after what he just showed against a Power 5 opponent.
Of the 3 losses this year, which one would you like to have back? Which one you think stung the most? Mizzou, Tulane, SMU.
I would probably say SMU because there was still a chance if you beat SMU, there was still a chance to be in the conference championship game. And then things are different because then you could beat Tulane again.
I'm with you.
Things are different.
But play this out with me.
Okay.
Hang on against Tulane, then I think motivations, fans, different factors around that game. Look, I took some shots yesterday at the people, and I meant it really ruefully. I meant it really apologetically to you.
Sure.
I'm sorry you threw a fit and got in a big snit, S-N-I-T, this year. and let's make sure that came out as snit.
Yes.
And threw that fit this year and missed out on this historic season. Now, season tickets are going to go on sale soon.
Yeah.
And you can jump in on the fun next year.
Sure.
Come on back.
Yeah, and I think that certainly that was one I was gonna say, and I think it's certainly up there because, like you said, that momentum because I know a lot of my friends, continued to go to games after that, but they
wanted to leave early.
Well, yes, but they said it just kind of after that game it felt different, and the energy at the stadium felt a little different.
I understand
after that
that
loss.
I do understand that, but. That's when fandom rises up.
Yeah, well, and what I'm saying is it seemed like they were telling me it seemed like there were less people there after that Tulane, and kind of the momentum that would have been there if they had beaten
and
Tulane.
This is how fragile it is out there for every team. You change a few plays in that Tulane game, and you finish down the stretch 11-1. That's you. That's Memphis probably hosting AAC championship game. Win that's you in the Fiesta Bowl instead of Liberty.
Yeah.
And I bet the Fiesta Bowl would have loved that too.
Yeah.
It had been a lot better game.
Yeah.
And I saw it with Ole Miss. And I talked to people in Atlanta about this. That last heave into the end zone by Heisman Trophy winner Jaden Daniels that just got deflected, if that's caught, it's 3 or 4 more losses for Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that season doesn't end like that.
It's game of inches, Brett.
It is. KJ Jefferson with the ball, driving.
Yeah.
What if Arkansas converts? How the Arkansas season could have looked differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it really could have. And the Fiesta Bowl, I mean, if you could have got that same matchup against Oregon, Dan Lanning, who used to be the defensive coordinator at Memphis, now going up against the Tigers, I mean, it would have been a great story and certainly a lot of fun. But, and also you go back to that Tulane game. I mean, you start just a little bit better than you did. I remember that game was when
down
Seth
21,
Hennigan,
wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's Seth Hennigan started the game like 1 for 11 for like 10 yards.
No, got down 10 and then up 10.
And then up.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, but Seth Hennigan was, I mean, caught how it is. He was awful to start the game. You're just a little bit better than that, and that changes a lot.
A couple of plays, remember in that game, Tiger defender read it perfectly. Ball goes right through the wicket, starts a pick six.
That's right. So, I mean, it happens, and you just mentioned it. Same thing with Ole Miss, and I think a lot of fan bases could say the same thing about their teams this season.
The Bama season was that fragile.
Oh, absolutely.
Texas, down the stretch of the year, a couple of close calls.
No, you're absolutely
Washington
right.
and all those close games for them.
Yeah, so it's but I do think there should be a lot of energy for this Tiger team next year. In addition to Jordan Hankins being promoted to defensive coordinator, Charles Clark is now the deputy head coach and defensive backs coach, while Jeff Myers is run game coordinator and offensive line coach. So some shuffles there in the coaching staff, but certainly the biggest one that the Tigers now have made an internal move for their defensive coordinator, which I think is really, really good. Brett, before we get to top and not top story, I do want to talk about this. I know we'll talk about the Grizzlies more at length later in the show, but last night a win over the Spurs, a comfortable win towards the end of that game. A lot of headlines being made today because of Ja getting the better of the mountain of a man that Victor Wembanyama is, and had a dunk on him, had kind of went up and was able to hang in the air and throw up a little floater. But a game we talked about, Brett, yesterday that the Grizzlies needed to win. They go out there, and like I said, towards the end, it was pretty comfortable.
It was fairly easy and should have been, and it's got to be that easy tonight.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, and back to back at home certainly helps, but never easy to have to play back to back against a Raptors team that brought in. We'll talk about more, but brought in new pieces, R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly to this roster, so they're still kind of trying. I mean, this team kind of started off slow, but still trying to kind of figure out these pieces. So no, it should be a good game. I haven't seen the line. I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think John said earlier, Grizzlies only a 1.5-point favorite tonight.
26 home games remain.
Okay.
What do they have to go to get in the playoffs?
Holy cow.
I'd start with 2 as the first number.
Yes. Yeah, I would say probably about 21, 20 is probably
22 would really get you there.
It would certainly get you there. You'd feel a lot better if it was 22.
I don't know that they're capable of it.
Yeah.
They may be. I just don't know it.
No, they might be, and it's certainly a long season, but it's now, I remember talking to Keith Smith at the beginning of this season, kind of a couple weeks in, and he was saying, it's really hurting the Grizzlies that they couldn't take advantage of some of these games because the West has started off so bad, but now it seems like a lot of those teams are starting to find their groove. You've got the Thunder up there. The Timberwolves look legit. Now the Clippers, after, a really bad start to the season, are starting to come around and win a lot of games. So, it's hard. They're certainly in a hole, but, if you can start with 2 wins tonight and kind of try to build off of that, I think you can maybe get in a good spot.
On predictions, we will do national at the bottom of this hour, and we'll do local about 3:45.
Yep.
Do you incorporate any Olympic predictions with local?
I do not.
So no Ja Morant on Olympic team.
No, I didn't even think about that, but that would have been a good one.
I didn't either.
Well, hey, maybe that will be my
Jaren.
OLI. And Jaren is certainly a bigger one because he was on the team that participated in FIBA. But I think there will be a lot more bigs that want to participate in the Olympics than they did in FIBA. But we'll get to our predictions in the next segment.
And we want yours.
We do. A lot of really good ones. I had to sit down over the last kind of 24 hours and really try to figure out. 10 is not easy, Brett. 10 don't come to you very easily. So let me set up the show since we're talking about that. In our next segment at 3:30, we're going to do our top 10 national predictions for 2024. 3:45, we'll go local top 10
That's
local sports prediction. That one will be a lot of fun. I'm excited about that one. 4 o'clock, David Cohn, the co-host of Crane & Company. He'll join us to talk college football. A ton to get to with David Cohn. And congratulations are in store for David. He said that he was picking both Michigan and Washington. Maybe a little biased on the Michigan pick. I guess not. With that family, it's kind of
he got there.
That
though.
game was certainly split, but he definitely got there. And so we got a lot to talk about with David. 4:30, we'll get back into the Grizzlies conversation. A win last night over the Spurs. A game tonight against the Raptors. 4:45, we get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Kevin Sweeney from CBB Central and Sports Illustrated will join us to talk college basketball. It was a really good night of college basketball last night in Illinois. Really, really impressive win for them over Kevin's alma mater, Northwestern. So we'll get to a lot of that at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending. And at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. It's a new year and time for the floor model sale. All floor model patio sets are priced to move. Wicker sofa sets under $2,000. Closeout patio cushions as low as $25. Pool tables under $1,500. Theater seating under $2,000. And a 4-person hot tub under $5,000. Traditional steam and saunas 25% off. Get ready for summer. It's not too early to get ready for summer and purchase your above ground pool now to get first in line for installation and special financing. As always, still available, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis. They're at 2600 Ridgeway and they're online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-334-9673. Great offers on all the 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, Brett, my top story of the day is the Memphis Grizzlies. Last night, a win over Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. Tonight, they get the Toronto Raptors. Last night, a 106-98 win over the Spurs, but it really seemed comfortable. It never seemed like that win was in doubt last night as the Grizzlies really played well. Ja Morant finished with 26 points and 10 assists. Santi Aldama with 11 rebounds, and a lot of clips going around both here locally and nationally of Ja Morant getting the better of Victor Wembanyama. He went at him a couple of times. The first time, Victor got him, blocked it off the backboard, but the next two times, Ja Morant found success, a dunk, and then a crafty floater over the big man. So it was fun. I know a lot of people were down there to both see this Grizzlies team, see Ja Morant back, but also see that number one
the new big
pick,
thing.
the new big thing. And I'm sure a lot of places are having the same type of attendance. My brother Connor went last night. He said it was a really, really good crowd for a weeknight for the Grizzlies. But Victor Wembanyama, he had a good game as well. 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 blocks for him. Jaren Jackson also added 10. Desmond Bane, really the story of the game, 24 points for him and added 3 rebounds. So a good game for the Grizzlies. We'll see what they can do tonight against a Raptors team that's really struggled early.
Now 2-0 this year against Victor Wembanyama and San Antonio. 2 more to play against them. Got to win both of those. Don't play them again until late March in San Antonio, and then toward the end of the year back here in Memphis. I hope during his career, Memphis beats him as often as Tim Duncan beat Memphis in his career. My top story, in the NFL, Baltimore and San Francisco, they both have secured 1 seeds. They met in Super Bowl 47 with Baltimore winning, and they met 2 weeks ago with Lamar Jackson putting it on the 49ers. I'd bet right now neither team gets to Super Bowl 58. Any odds out there on that?
Not to not get there, I don't think.
I think it is truly wide open in the NFL. Dallas and Detroit legitimately can get to the Super Bowl. Detroit, yes, legitimately can get to a Super Bowl. Maybe even the Rams. I would rank the Rams ahead of the Eagles as getting to the Super Bowl. In the AFC, Baltimore is superior, but they can be had.
Sure.
Cleveland or Buffalo can both beat them, and then the potential for my end-of-time Super Bowl.
Oh, no.
Detroit and Cleveland. It's all over.
Not top story of the day.
We can't have that. I mean,
it all ends.
It would. It literally would. I mean, hopefully we would get to see the game, and then when the buzzer's
That's it.
0, that's it. Goodbye.
Not confetti falling.
No.
Stadium falls.
Yes. My not top story of the day is it's officially January, so that means conference play starting in college basketball, and this is really the important time of the season. Yes, the non-conference is great. You can build your resume in the non-conference, but for a lot of these teams, the conference slate is what matters. For these power conferences, that's where you can get some separation and really get those seed lines, is over these next 2 months in conference play. We had a really fun night last night, especially in the Big Ten. Some really interesting games. I mentioned Illinois. We talked yesterday. I was interested to see their first game without Terrence Shannon. They played Fairleigh Dickinson. I know, good story, but I don't think anybody thought they would have any problems with them. Last night, against a Northwestern team that just beat Purdue a couple weeks ago, they hang 30 on them and beat them by 30, made it look really, really easy. So that was impressive. On the other hand, Purdue had a great night last night and a really easy win on the road against Maryland. So you're going to start seeing a ton of conference games. We've got a couple of ACC games tonight. Tigers start conference play tomorrow. Very, very important
Clemson,
time.
Miami tonight.
And it's going to be a really good game.
Tiger fans need to be pulling for Clemson.
Yes, they do.
Don't they?
Oh, absolutely.
My not top story, Washington and Michigan. They wait to play the college football national championship game next Monday night. It's 2 undefeated teams that were right there all year, but it still does have that good feeling of something new. There's real SEC fatigue. Look, there's SEC people that have had fatigue with Alabama, Georgia, and even LSU.
Sure.
The SEC dominance, it's ended for now, and it ended where it matters. Go beat them.
Yeah.
No, don't just wish it. Go out there and beat them. Well, Michigan did. Texas did earlier in the year against Alabama. But in the preseason, let's remember this. We're not talking about St. Peter's against Valpo. This is Michigan and Washington. Michigan started the first August preseason poll at 0-0. They were number 2.
Yeah.
Washington was 10.
Yeah. Wow.
So they're really known.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that'll do it for top and not.
But
top
it feels
story.
different, doesn't it?
It feels.
I think it feels good.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I have no issues with it at all.
The strong survive.
Exactly.
The best team win.
Absolutely. That'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. When we come back, time to make some predictions, our top 10 national predictions for 2024.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Let's wait until spring to put our house on the market. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Ben Storff Realtors, and I've heard that before. Yes, spring is beautiful. The azaleas are in bloom, and so are the real estate signs. More flowers mean more signs. To me, right now is the best time to go on the market. Yes, even during the holidays and the winter months, because the housing inventory is lower, and buyers just don't have the selection available that they would in February, March, and April. If you or someone you know is thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers. Find out what they think about your house, but more importantly, what they will do for you. Make sure I'm one of the ones you call to find out about my highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and win. Remember what they say. When you want the job done, call the worst golfer in town. Call me, Sheldon Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. That's MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546, and go Tigers.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Looks good right now as far as accidents on the major outbound routes. A little bit tricky at times in this construction zone over here. We're keeping an eye on it. 55 north and southbound between McLemore and South Parkway. Headed down into South Haven right now, south of Memphis. That's holding up nicely all the way down through DeSoto County. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's got to be Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online right now at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
All right, Brett, time to make some predictions. A new year, that means a lot of things.
We need predictions at the text line.
We do.
901-360-8255. Load us up nationally and locally.
Yeah. So we're going to start with our national predictions. We'll get to local in our next segment. Brett, do you want me to start? Do you want to start? Do you want to just roll through all of them? How are we going to do this?
Roll through them all. Fire away.
I'm going to go with mine. These are in no particular order of like what I think happens most. These are just how they came to my head. Number one, Jim Harbaugh returns to the NFL.
All right, here's the bad thing about predictions. That's going to happen soon if it happens.
Yeah.
And any prediction coming up soon, people are really going to remember that.
That's true. So hopefully it plays out, and that can be a check
chalk
mark.
one up.
Yeah.
And these predictions, every year I've been doing them. This is kind of the opposite of preseason W's and L's that nobody remembers if you get anything right preseason. They just remember the bad. People remember. You can get like 2 of these right, and people will remember it. Oh yeah, you got that on New Year's Day.
I should
early
have
in the year.
More crazier of like a lottery ticket.
Crazy's
or something.
key here.
Oh,
really crazy.
I'll remember that for next year.
Got it.
Number 2 for me, Johnny's going to love this one. Dallas Cowboys will win a Super Bowl. So that also will happen here in a couple months. You all right, Johnny?
Cowboys could, Johnny.
I think it's still that, head cold.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
Oh, well.
Brett's the only one who have witnessed the Cowboys win a championship, and I think that's going to continue.
That's for sure.
I saw the ones in the 70s.
I was going to say he saw multiple.
He's seen them all, man.
Yeah.
I don't think me and you going to see one anytime soon.
No, I don't know about that. I predict it.
That really is instructive. Y'all have not in your lives seen a Cowboy Super Bowl.
No.
That blows me away.
Cowboys have always been a joke since I've been alive, Brett. I mean, they've been the punchline to a joke.
Wow.
Number 3 for me, the Thunder make it to the Western Conference Finals. This young team.
Where'd I beam to last night?
You beamed to that Thunder game.
They beat Boston.
They sure did. That was really, really impressive.
That's a good one, Dave.
Number 4 for me, commissioners will get mad at the college football playoffs for their teams not making it to the first 12-team playoff.
What's new?
Brett, and I think it's going to be even worse because you're going to have a lot of teams that have the same records. They're right around that line.
It's absolutely going to be a bigger storm.
Oh, it's going to be awful.
But when you let more in, rather than let the system I would like to go back to is the oldest of old ones.
Yeah.
The 70s style.
Oh, wow. I was going to say BCS, but
no.
We're going before the BCS. No, I think it's going to be a mess.
True Flat Earth Society. Go back to the 70s.
No, you're going to get to a point where, and especially with all of these, Johnny's losing it in there, but with all of these, people within these conferences that are on the college football playoff, and you're going to have, the Big Ten has,
then
5
you're gonna have
teams
the fight over who hosts the first weekend.
Absolutely. So
we should have been hosting.
I think
we weren't an 11. We were a 7.
Yeah, I think a year from a couple weeks ago, it's going to be the biggest story in sports of these conferences just freaking out over the first 12-team playoff.
And think about if the SEC, heaven forbid, only got 3 in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's gonna be wild. Number 5 for me, the Dodgers do not make it to the World Series. Brett, I might even go out on a limb and say they don't make it to the NLCS. Actually, scratch it. I am saying they don't make it to the NLCS.
That's bold.
This is
that's real bold.
They've put a lot of money into this team.
They always do.
I'm telling you, they always do. And I think we see another disappointing season for the Dodgers. Number 6, very excited about this one. The NBA will announce plans to expand to Las Vegas and the great city of Seattle.
Uncanny. I like it.
I love it. I love that one. Number 7. How about this?
A friend of mine text me. He said he was at the last Super Bowl win.
Wow.
Super Bowl 30.
Wow.
We're playing Super Bowl 58.
Well,
this
Brett,
year.
we don't have to
And
go
he
into
was there.
We don't have to go into the nitty gritty of what Super Bowl we're on now, and the last time the Cowboys were in one. My next one, kind of on the same style of expansion in the NBA. Major League Baseball will hint at wanting to expand or relocate a team this year. Looking at the Chicago White Sox, there's already been some rumors. I think Nashville could be a serious candidate there. Number 8 for me, U.S. track and field team will dominate the Olympics and be the story of the games. I love this track and field team. If you're not paying attention to them, you should once the summer rolls around. Number 9, Brett, you'll like this one. Tiger Woods will be in contention on a Sunday at a major this year. I don't want to say which one. I'm just saying, you're going to look up on a Sunday, and he's going to be right there, top 5, top 10.
I want to let the audience know, we did these independent. I
love it.
No clue what your list said. You had none of mine.
No.
We didn't discuss.
Brett, I just put it on paper like an hour ago. I
worked on mine in Atlanta.
Well, hey,
had some free time one day.
Text would have been nice, but I got the news yesterday.
Sorry,
it's okay. No, it was. I love my list. And then number 10 for me, we see the realistic concerns of conference realignment with these other sports outside of football when it comes to travel and planning and scheduling in sports like baseball, soccer,
being the equipment
basketball.
guys.
Oh, man.
Imagine being the USC or the traditional Pac teams, Johnny, and you've got to load up that truck and send it out on Tuesday bound for Iowa City.
Yeah.
It sounds like a nightmare,
Maryland.
man. That sounds terrible.
Penn State.
I would hate to do any of that.
And those youngsters have to go to school.
Yeah, they still got to balance school and everything, and then they had to make time
real school
to do
for y'all.
Yeah, real school.
But we're gonna see it. It's gonna play out, and it's gonna be a mess.
It will. Really good.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go 10-1. Number 10, I'm calling it the Redream team. Ooh. The Redream team gets the band back together. The big boys, LeBron, Steph, Joel Embiid, the big boys all gather up and go to Paris and drop a house on the world. And I want it.
That's good.
And I want it so bad that you see stories of, well, I don't know why they had to come over here and beat us by 82. That's what I want.
I like it. I like it.
I want to go hammer people. Number 9, Tiger Woods makes the cut at the Masters. That will be his 24th consecutive. He's currently tied at 23 with Fred Couples and Gary Player. He makes the cut, and he finishes in the top 15.
Oh, wow, Brett.
Number 8, new champ 2 years in a row in the NBA. It's the close society of all the sports. Last year, Denver broke through. This year, Minnesota breaks through. You had Oklahoma City, so we were close. Minnesota breaks through. They win it over Boston. They won it as the Minneapolis Lakers in 1954 over the Syracuse Nationals, and they beat the Celtics beat them. So Boston and Minneapolis they played in the NBA Finals. Celtics beat them in 1959. Dodgers win 120.
Whoa!
But don't win it all. Yankees over Dodgers in 7-game classic.
Wow.
They've met 11 times in World Series. Haven't met since 81. They meet next fall, maybe November even. I was going to say the October Fall Classic, but maybe November. 6, Purdue gets its first national championship.
Wow.
They've been to the Final Four twice before in their history, 1969 with Rick Mount, 1980 with Joe Barry Carroll. They get to the Final Four with Purdue, Kansas, Marquette, and a local team that I will save for local predictions.
I like it.
That I think a lot of people in this area will really be glad to hear.
Wow.
Number 5, college football playoffs. We'll have 5 teams from the SEC.
Wow.
Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, and Mizzou, and Bama will win it all. Number 4, Bill Belichick. He leaves New England and goes to Atlanta and goes to the playoffs next year with his new quarterback, Justin Fields.
I like this. Okay.
Number 3, NBA announces expansion to Vegas and Seattle to start the 26-27 season.
Wow.
We both had that.
We did have that.
I had it as number 3.
Wow.
I thought I was really having something really original. You had it as well. That's great.
I did have it. Yeah. No, I love that one.
Number 2, John Calipari's tenure at Kentucky ends in March. They will have enough of not winning it.
Whoa.
One time in his whole tenure there.
Whoa.
They move on from him. He moves on from them. Number 1, Rory McIlroy finally wins the Masters.
Wow.
Great list.
I'm still on the John Calipari one.
That's bold, Brian.
I mean, that's out there.
That is.
I like it. Okay.
Wow.
If they lost first weekend, they can't fire him because of the money.
Right.
But the gentle conversation of let's meet in the middle.
It will come.
Which, if I'm Cal, meet in the middle. Pay me every dime you owe me.
That's right. Yeah. Wow.
And he tell them where that middle could be stuck.
Well, he definitely will.
Right in the middle.
And could and would do it very easily. I just saw Rory McIlroy, speaking of him.
I did too. Poor Rory.
Yeah, I mean.
Wants to be loved.
Yes.
I don't think he knows really what he believes in on anything.
I don't think so.
And that
either.
usually goes with people that wants to be loved.
Yeah.
And now, he feels bad for, saying ugly things about people that went to live. Now, he got it broken off behind him by the tour.
He sure did. And, with John Rahm going to live, every single friend he has on the tour is with Liv now.
All the Euros, all of his Ryder Cup buddies.
He can't hate all of them, and so it sounds like I don't want to say walking.
And we all did get out there,
sure,
in the defense of the tour, and then look what that story in early June. That was one of the sports stories of 2023. Was that agreement with the public investment?
Well, and I was, because I was trying to get some ideas of things, that I could, put for national and, try to get the brain flowing with some ideas. And I was, kind of looking around the internet, and I saw there were a lot of people that one of their predictions in the sports world for 2024 is that the public investment would not only have a place in golf, but they would, buy into a professional sports team.
Oh, it's coming.
So, definitely. And
there's no doubt.
I saw like 4 or 5 of those. It's a lot of people that think that's coming. And so I'm
maybe
kind
a
of surprised.
league.
Whew, man, that would be.
What if they want name the league? Baseball, NBA. They wanted a stake in it.
Well, they certainly have the money to do it. So,
but I think most of those leagues have bylaws for whatever that's worth. Of you can't own more than one team.
Yeah.
But if they decided to be the banker for a league,
well,
you can turn that down.
No.
Again, I don't know which one of the financial magazines, Fortune or Barron's or one of them.
Sure.
They don't even try to quantify it, to figure up what the wealth is. They quit counting at $1.7 trillion.
It's unbelievable.
And it's flowing right now.
It's unbelievable.
Texas tea.
Wow. So they certainly have the money to do it. And I would not be surprised if we saw it. That would certainly turn into the story of the year in sports if it did happen. But let's go ahead and get to a break. We've done our national list. Now it's time to get local on the other side. Our top 10 local sports predictions for 2024.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings & Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings & Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings & Grill.
When a cold keeps you up, try NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste to give your body the rest it needs to get that cold gone. Wake up refreshed, feeling relieved after enjoying the delicious flavor of NyQuil Severe Honey. NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The season has changed. You know how I know? It's finally here, the Family Leisure Christmas Sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Oh, we're just beginning. Tired and sore from shopping? Check out the huge selection in stock of hot tubs and massage chairs. Oh, and you can surprise the kids with the best stuff, like a new arcade, a game table, even a play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy and enjoy together. Also on sale, theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. That's Family Leisure of Memphis. Every year we wait. They always deliver. They've done it again. The Family Leisure Christmas Sale is happening at I-40 and Whitten Road. That's 2120 Whitten Road to be exact. That's the place of shopping heaven. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
All right, time to get
The
local.
good stuff.
Yeah, this is where it really gets exciting. We already did the national. We did that last segment, but now time for the top 10 local sports predictions for 2024. Brett, I'll start. And again, these are in no order whatsoever. So number one, the Tiger football team will make the college football playoffs in the first year of the 12-team playoffs as the group of five selection.
That is number 6 on my list.
That's good, Brian.
Thank you. Two for me, Tiger basketball will make the second weekend of the NCAA tournament.
Does it stop there at Sweet 16 or does it go to E8?
Well, Brad, I mean, my crystal ball was only showing me second weekend. You know, I didn't.
I looked into my crystal ball and you know what I saw?
What you saw?
A goldfish. That's all I saw.
That was a good one. Number 3 for me, the Grizzlies will make the play-in and make it out of the play-in and win a first-round series. Again, whichever one they are.
Second series for Ja to win.
Yeah. So that's number 3 for me. Would be I think a huge turnaround for the Grizzlies if they were able to do that. Number 4 for me, Ole Miss will be top 6 in the college football playoffs next year.
Please, Lord, please.
I mean, what they're bringing back, what they're adding. I mean, this team, as much as I don't want to say it, I mean,
he's really faithful. I'm not.
His team can be dangerous next year. I don't know. Number 5 for me, Brett.
But you already knew that.
Well, Brett, I warned you about my 5th one earlier. How about this? The Showboats.
Okay.
Will make the playoffs in the first year of the UFL. They're back, baby.
I like it, Brian. I like it.
Now, how many teams make playoffs? 4?
Well, Brett, new league. I'm not sure on all the specifics
you
of
don't
the
know the playoff
playoffs.
grid.
I'm just guaranteeing a playoff spot.
I hope you're right.
It is.
We had fun last year with it. I want to this year.
Brett, I hope there's a playoff. I mean, I guess they could just take the top 2 teams and play a championship game. So I'm hoping there's a playoff.
Man, who did Todd Haley make mad? He didn't make this. He didn't scratch.
I mean, Todd Haley.
He did scratch it all.
Really
so yeah,
I like Todd Haley too.
He was great with us.
He really was.
A couple times we had him on. Number 6, and I hate this one. And this one's kind of one way or the other. Either the Cardinals make an announcement or there are stories written here locally about the Cardinals moving the Redbirds out of Memphis. I think with that, the money that was
the stadium disrepair.
It's in a bad place right now. They're not getting any money, and
the working agreement is well past this year.
Right.
But with the new deal with minor league baseball, they can deem your place unplayable.
Yeah.
And I think you're a free agent.
Well, and that's why I put in the or their stories written about, because I think, with the kind of agreement there is.
War and rumor of war.
Yeah, I think there's
yeah.
a real chance we get to, September, October, season's coming to an end. The Cardinals are really looking at everything from top to bottom, and we get a story in the commercial appeal saying Cardinals are trying everything they can to move.
And sure can't have any more of these gaffes of on a perfectly beautiful day, can't play because something burst or didn't get done.
And on top of that, I'm having to go to the opposing team's Twitter page to try to even figure out why they're not playing. They don't know why they're not playing. We cannot have any of that this year. Number 7 for me, and this one might be my wild one. Reports come out that NBA teams have reached out to Penny Hardaway to interview for their head coaching job. Obviously, we know there was some slight flirtation with Orlando. But I could see maybe if a job comes open this year and Penny Hardaway does have that super successful season, that an NBA team could try to reach out for an interview. Number 8 for me, Tennessee. Nico Ilamaleva gets Heisman hype in the second, third, fourth week of the season. What he did, the hype around that program. Brad, I think he's got some hype around him. Maybe what we saw.
I picked Joe Milton to win the Heisman.
Well, but and I remember I guess last year when Anthony Richardson, first or second game of the season
had it won.
So I think we could see something like that next year for Nico. Number 9 for me, Sam Pittman is let go midseason. I don't know where it comes, but I don't think he makes it through the entire season for Arkansas. And my last one, Shelby County has another state champion in high school football next year. Houston did it this year. There's some good teams that are bringing some good players back. I know John Varlas is certainly
your Houston Mustangs did it.
My Houston Mustangs. I know. I'm sure. John Varlas could tell us more about the teams that are bringing back good players. But I think we could see another team in Shelby County, hoist the golden ball.
My number 10, I mentioned a local team in the Final Four. Rick Barnes, Tennessee Vols go to the Final Four. Number 9, the Memphis Tigers go to the Elite Eight.
Brett, that might be the biggest upset, certainly biggest upset of the year.
And how would Tiger fans take that weekend of seeing Tennessee at a Final Four? But the Tigers go to the Elite Eight, number 9 for me.
Great.
Number 8, I had him winning the Masters as my number 1 national prediction. Number 8, Rory McIlroy wins in Memphis in August.
That'd be awesome.
Number 7, more stadium financing drama, unfortunately. No wrecking ball over at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium yet. No. We thought it was going to start as soon as the game was over.
Yeah.
It hadn't. It won't for a while. The Grizzlies don't play nice. That story will be out there.
Yes.
Number 6, Tigers in the college football playoff.
Oh, yeah.
Number 5, Sam Pittman fired at Arkansas. Rich Rodriguez, the new coach of the Razorbacks.
Rich Rod had a heck of a year this year, first year in the FBS for Jackson State.
Number 4, OU struggles year 1 in the SEC. Josh Heupel leaves Tennessee to take the job at his alma mater, Boomer Sooner.
Wow.
Number 3, Ole Miss makes college football playoff. Number 2, the Grizzlies make the NBA playoffs. I don't know about winning a series.
Hey.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
And number 1, with the Tigers making the college football playoff and Ole Miss making the college football playoffs, and that Friday night game, the first weekend of the games on campus, Friday night, December 19th in Oxford, 12-seed Memphis versus 5-seed Ole Miss.
Oh, my goodness. I like it. That's a mic drop.
Wow. I'm stunned.
We will be doing remotes at 2 o'clock in the morning if that happens.
Brett.
That would be amazing.
Week. Wow. I mean, honestly, we would have to close down shop. Hopefully, y'all's pregame show would start and kick us out because I'd be at that game.
You would be. I'd finally get you down.
That would be my first trip to Oxford.
Yeah.
I'd be there.
That'd be amazing, man.
5 Ole Miss versus 12 seed Memphis in Oxford on Friday night. That would be to kick off that weekend. There'll be a game that Friday and then kind of a noon, 3, and 7 o'clock game that Saturday.
I was, last weekend, I forget, a couple weekends ago, I was explaining to my girlfriend Melinda how the conference, or the college football playoffs was going to change and how they were going to, because she's, she watches a little with me, but she doesn't watch a lot. She doesn't know what's going on really in terms of like the changing scene of college football. But I was explaining to her like, yeah, it's going to be a 12-team playoff. They're going to take one group of 5 team, and like the Tigers with what they're doing, they have a good shot of being there next year. And I was like, Melinda, you don't understand. Like they could go to like, Michigan or Ohio State, or think of the teams that they could, play if they were, had maybe a down year and was that 5 seed. And I said, I'm going. I don't care where they're at.
Had you thought about that though?
But that would be,
that can happen.
It really,
that's possible. That's really possible.
That would be unbelievable. That'd be great.
How great would it be?
Oh man, talk about.
I would love it.
Just everybody in the city being excited for one game.
We always see those Birmingham TV ratings for everything.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be on a network, though, because it'll be ESPN. I was going to say, what would Channel 3 get? They wouldn't get anything. It'd be ESPN.
No, but that would be, who cares? That'd be a lot of fun. There'd be a ton of eyes on
TV
it.
would be reporting live from Oxford from Wednesday on.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and I've been, obviously, all Memphis fans have Ole Miss fans, and you just have to. And so, when Ole Miss comes up here for baseball or basketball or something, I've been with some friends that are Ole Miss, and you're out and about, and I remember I was like 11 or 12, and it was the first time I'd really experienced like being at a restaurant and someone just walking by and just the interaction.
Yes.
And I was like, that's interesting. And so, the energy that would be around the
city
would
be there. And I'm telling people now, no, I don't have any extra tickets.
No, absolutely not. But that was a lot of fun. Our top 10 local predictions for 2024 and also national that we did in the last segment. I hope we're right on just a couple of these. If we just got right on 1 or 2 of these, I think it would be a good year for sports. It's going to be a great year, no matter what. But let's go ahead and get to a break, wrap up our first hour, and when we come back, we're talking college football with David Cohn.
Welcome to the Rendezvous. This is John Burgess. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Burgess Rendezvous. Be sure to schedule your delivery for the next game at hogsfly.com or come visit us in the alley.
At Sissy's Log Cabin, you'll find only spectacular natural diamonds that will remain treasured for generations. That promise is now symbolized by the engraved Sissy signature and sapphire, representing our guarantee of extraordinary service, selection, experience, and quality. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience the Sissy's promise for yourself. Find a jeweler for a lifetime, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Is your home still not warm enough or running out of hot water? Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, and we've got exciting news for you. Introducing Choate's Carrier Repair Buyback Program. If you've had HVAC or water heater repairs in the past year, you're in luck. Choate's will credit your repair costs up to $1,500 with a brand new HVAC or tankless water heater system. Yep, you heard right. Just bring your repair invoice from the last 365 days and get ready to upgrade your home's comfort. Say goodbye to those chilly nights and inconsistent heating. Choate's has you covered with various low-payment financing plans, making your upgrade more affordable than ever. Imagine a more efficient and reliable system keeping your family cozy all winter long. And here's the best part. This offer is a substantial boost towards a state-of-the-art heating solution. Ready to take the next step? Schedule your free estimate by calling 347-8086. And remember, turn to the experts with Choate's and let our family serve your family.
We all appreciate luxury. We love the newest technology. We want something that sparkles and looks great. Well, I've got it all in one place. It's called Genesis of Olive Branch, right at the corner of Highway 78, that's Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, that's Craft Road. Turn left and you will see Genesis of Olive Branch. And right now, you can get the 2024 Genesis GV70 starting at $49,480 with special financing as low as 3.49% on select models. How about the 2024 Genesis GV80? A little bit bigger, starting at $55,995, financing as low as 5.49% with a $2,000 rebate when trading a luxury brand. Call them. They'll even bring you a Genesis at your work or your home for a test drive. They're convinced that when you drive a Genesis, you're going to want one. Call 662-890-6684. Ask for Vinny. Genesis of Olive Branch.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Just a couple of minor wrecks on you the last hour or so. It wants to pick up at times over here on 40 East as you come past Warford, Hollywood, all the way over to White Station. Still looks good right now. 385 Billmores Parkway going outbound, back out into Collierville, and a little bit of radar still left over out here. Give yourself a little bit of extra time. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
College football talk as David Cohn, the co-host of Crane & Company with Jake Crane, joins Bryant, Brett, and Jay Morgan, a college quarterback at Michigan, a tall man that's on Twitter at David Adam Cohn. Here's David with Bryant and Brett.
David Cohn joins us. Now, let's just sit and listen to this
Hail to the
music
victors.
for a second.
Did you catch both of those fight songs pregame Monday?
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Bama went first, and then I think appropriately Michigan went second. And with that one, the whole setup leading into kickoff Monday was Nirvana.
Good. And a perfect time to play it. And first off, David, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year to you, but also congratulations to you, because last week when we talked, I asked you your prediction for the national champion, and your answer, Michigan and Washington.
Boom and boom.
And that's what we've got next Monday.
Well, first off, Happy New Year.
For
Second
sure.
off, I could just sit here and listen to you play that song over and over on repeat. And third of all, yes, you are correct. I did have Michigan and Washington with very, very little confidence. But nonetheless, that was my pick, and I think we're going to get a heck of a matchup in this championship. They say styles make fights, and we got a couple different styles here. Both are equally intriguing for a fantastic football game.
Yeah, no, it absolutely will be. And kind of talking about Michigan in that first game against Alabama, obviously a lot of people pointing out the special teams miscues in that game, but really, especially in the trenches, Michigan was the better team all night.
Yeah, which is an important place to be better, especially, you're talking about the last decade and a half. Nick Saban has owned college football, and he's done so by bullying teams around in the trenches. And it seems like any time, a program like Michigan can get one or two aspects of the puzzle figured out, well, then all of a sudden Nick Saban will beat you with skill players or beat you with an NFL quarterback. I mean, heck, the last four he's had are not only playing on Sunday, but they're all starting in the NFL. But if you want to be the man, you've got to beat the man. And Nick Saban is the man. Every program that has had success on the national level the last decade and a half since I played college football has had to go through Alabama. Auburn and that Cam Newton team were down 24-0, had to come back. Clemson and Dabo Swinney, they had to do it and did it twice. Urban Meyer with the Buckeyes had to go through Alabama with a third-string quarterback. 2019 LSU had to go on the road to Tuscaloosa. I was at that game. Even Texas this year, to be quote-unquote back to make the college football playoff, had to go on the road and beat Alabama and Tuscaloosa. Georgia lost to them time and time and time again, and finally Kirby Smart got over that hump, and they were back-to-back champions. Michigan had their shot, and for much of the game, the moment looked too big in many respects. You talked about the special teams. I haven't seen Michigan make a special teams blunder all season, and I've watched every single play. And yet it got so bad in that game. Jake Crane and I were sitting there watching the game together. We were wondering, can they even make this PAT to send it to overtime? That's how bad it got. That shows me that in some capacity, the moment was too big for some of those guys. But you know what travels when you're in a dogfight? Defense. And that unit responded drive after drive after drive. And they did what they had to do, which was make Jalen Milroe revert back to the quarterback we saw early in the season, not mid-season Jalen Milroe, because that's the quarterback that finishes sixth in the Heisman. That's the quarterback that's going to beat you and go to the national championship. You know, get to him early, get to him often, and make him abandon those progressions, abandon the first and second read. If you can do that, you have a chance. And Michigan's defense did that time and time again. And then I just can't say enough about Blake Corum, the senior running back, who looks like Mike Hart, my old friend and teammate. He looks like Mike Hart 2.0, leaned on him, and he delivered when we needed him most. An incredible performance, and I'm so happy for this program and this team, and for Jim Harbaugh, who's gotten so much flack and everything that's gone on this season, being suspended 50% of the year for what a lot of us around the college football world see as just being, in many respects, asinine.
For returning a book late to the library.
Yeah, something like that. But we've had that discussion, and we can continue to have it. But right now, I just want to, give a hats off to a guy who's a great football coach. He's great for college football, and you know what? He has put together an incredible team because he's everything that they've been asked to do. Every time they've been doubted, they stood up and they delivered, and they did it on the biggest stage. 27.2 million views, I think. Top 10 cable broadcast of all time. This Rose Bowl was. Man, what a fantastic evening.
Of the two winners, which one do you think's more excited or maybe feels more fortunate to be there? And of the two defeated teams, who's the sickest?
It's funny. It's a great question because I think these are two of the more disrespected programs throughout the season. Certainly Washington. I mean, I don't really know too many other people other than myself that put Washington in the college football playoff. And even I did so with a loss. I thought they'd lose on the road to USC. And even then I had them losing in the first round of the playoff. Every single turn people have discounted this Washington team. And I said, I don't know if that would be the case if they had a USC on their logo or if they even had an Oregon on their logo. The marketing for those other big programs like that out west is just, it's superior to Washington.
Maybe even Utah.
Possibly being back-to-back champs, yes, which is astonishing to say because Washington I still always think of having like a great football program, but this year is just a little bit different with Kalen DeBoer, who has just coached himself into being like this guy's going to be one of the most sought-after coaches if he ever didn't want to leave Washington. And then Michael Penix Jr. was just simply the best player on the football field. He puts the ball wherever he wants to. I think he's the best pure passer of the ball that I've seen in at least the last half decade. Put Joe Burrow up there if you'd like, but he moves in the pocket so well. Sacked 11 times this year. I think I saw a stat that he's been sacked fewer times in his career now. 6-year senior now, sacked fewer times in his career than Caleb Williams was just this season alone. So he is unbelievable. The wide receiver core, we talked about it last week, like that was going to give them an advantage against Texas's secondary, and that's the matchup I was looking forward to seeing. I just didn't know it would end up looking like Brett Favre was out there slinging the football. And so obviously he will step on the field. He'll be the best football player there with that wide receiver core. That's going to give Washington a chance. And I think that, from Michigan's defensive perspective, you've got to do what you did against Jalen Milroe, against so many of these other quarterbacks, is not only get pressure, but I think Michigan's most improved area these last 3 seasons when they've gone on this winning streak has been the secondary. There was a time 5, 6, 7 years ago when I would watch a Michigan game, and if someone threw it deep against us, mostly if the Buckeyes threw it deep, it was either a pass interference penalty or it was a big play. That's no longer the case when you have Will Johnson back there, Mike Sanders still back there, combined with the pass rush that Michigan has. But if you really, really, really want to contain Michael Penix Jr., then what you do is you run the ball effectively on offense. You can't continue to put your defense out there time and time and time again. The guy is just too good, and you will lose. And I do think that Michigan will have more success with long, sustained drives against Washington than they did against the big, strong defense at Alabama.
Bama or Texas? Who's sickest?
I think that it has to be Texas. I think it has to be Texas because
Bama can't be too upset.
because you went on the road
all the time.
You went on the road and you beat Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa, right? You barely lost in the Red River Shootout to your rival on a last-minute drive. Your quarterback gets hurt in the middle of the season, but he comes back, and then you look unstoppable and really unbeatable throughout the end of the season, and then you get what many would have considered, right, the better draw out of the games when you pulled Washington. I think it's got to be Texas is sicker because finally we said, oh, Texas is back. Look what Sarkisian has done. Whereas for Alabama, as sick as some Alabama fans may be, they still look up at a wall full of trophies, and this was the least elite team that Nick Saban has taken to the playoffs. I would say that it would have to be Texas, but no team should hang their hat. I mean, despite Florida State getting snubbed and going undefeated and not making the college football playoff, I told you guys a month ago that we were going to get a very, very compelling college football playoff, no matter what the matchups were, and that's what we got. It came down to the last play in both games.
Colin Cowherd precedes us on this radio station every day, and he was making comments today, and everybody says it about Texas, about how wealthy they are, and their donors, and the facilities, and the hot tubs, and the masseuses, and the masseurs, and the weight rooms, and the diet, and we all know that. Well, we also know this, David, for all that bravado and all that we're always being back, since the end of crew cut football, when most people were watching it on a black and white TV, Texas has won it one time, and it took a Vince Young Superman performance to win it.
Yeah, and I remember that one vividly. I was watching that. That was, I was very impressionable during those years when I was trying to figure out where I wanted to play college football. And a lot of people say the same thing about Michigan, right? Hey, all of your history is pre-black and white TV, and you
Charles
only have
Woodson,
the one
though.
championship in '97 with Charles Woodson. For Texas specifically, yes, I think a lot of the powers that be there have sort of gotten in the way, and that's kept the program from having some success. At the same time, because of that, they really, really care. They care a lot. They want to get it right. I think they got the right hire with Steve Sarkisian. And more importantly, Steve Sarkisian came in year one and identified some of the cultural problems and said, look, this can't last. Like, we have got to make changes here. And he did, and now you see the fruits of that. Despite losing to what is the most prolific offense in the country in Washington and a guy in Michael Penix Jr. who's going to play on Sundays for a long, long time, there's no shame in that. And I can just tell you from the Michigan perspective specifically, even had we gone in and lost to Alabama, which would have been 3 playoff losses in a row, and it would have been absolutely ridiculing on the national stage because the narrative continues to be that Michigan can't win the big one when they get outside their conference and the sign stealing and whatever. Even had that been the case, it certainly is better than 5-6 years ago when you're going, 8-4, 8-5. So I think Texas should use this as a momentum builder heading into the Southeastern Conference. Your quarterback's already said he's returning. The guy sitting behind him is the nephew of Peyton and Eli Manning. So I think things are going to be okay in Austin.
I do too. In week 2 next year, they will be in Ann Arbor at the Big House to play Michigan, and that will be some setting and some game. But I'm just saying, all the bravado and all the talk of Texas, they talk like they have the trophy case of Alabama when it's the trophy case of BYU.
Yeah, that's true, and it's a Texas thing. I mean, Texas A&M does the same thing, and a lot of times they don't even have the trophies, even the older trophies that Texas does. But
BYU's got the trophy case of Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I look at that and I say, yes, there was a tweet going around. I think it was about Michigan, but it could have been about another fan base. And I think some people have said about Georgia the last couple of years that, oh man, if this, if X program wins a championship, they're going to be even more insufferable than they already are. Yes, that applies to Texas. Yes, that applies to Texas A&M. Yes, that applies to Michigan. The Michigan fan base is going to be insufferable if they win next week.
To the victor go the spoils, what I say.
Good for college football. It's good for college football. I want everyone to care so much about their program. Of course, some people take it too far, especially in an era where you can just sit at a keyboard and be a clickbait warrior and type things without ever having to face a man man, face to face.
What the poor Bama center's going through.
And, as long as people care so much about their teams and about their programs, then college football will be alive and well.
Absolutely. Talking to David Cohn. He joins us every single week to talk college football. He's the co-host of Crane and Company. And there's been some talk. There's been the rumors. And I think you'll get this, from here on out if he does decide to return. But 72-year-old Nick Saban, his future in college football. Will he return? Won't he return? He'll turn 73 in the middle of next season if he's back next year. What do you see in Nick Saban's future?
Well, I certainly can't prognosticate on him. I mean, all I can do is take what he said on Pat McAfee's show this year, where he said, everybody keeps thinking I'm going to retire. I mean, what else would I do? I think it'll come down to Miss Terry. I know they have that beautiful house on Lake Burton. I don't know if they want to spend more time there or not, but it certainly strikes me that Nick Saban would want to go out on top. That's not going to happen this year. But he still had, a number 2 recruiting class. He's going to return his quarterback, who's going to have another year of experience now. He's going to return so many great pieces. I just don't see him going anywhere, especially not before this next season. The more interesting question to me becomes Jim Harbaugh, to be honest. Every single year we've talked about this guy possibly taking an NFL job, and what makes Jim Harbaugh so interesting is he's one of the few guys that has had success at both levels, right? That 49ers franchise was in the dumps since the mid-'90s when Steve Young left. Jim Harbaugh revitalized that program, finally got the most out of that number 1 pick in Alex Smith, brought Colin Kaepernick in. They go to a Super Bowl. I'm interested to see, what happens, obviously, this next week. Does he, fulfill the Michigan legacy after playing for Bo and win this national championship, or do they fall short? And regardless of what happens, does he say, hey, Ann Arbor's my home, this is my dream job, I don't care what the NCAA is going to do, I don't care that they want me out of college football, I'm staying, this is where I'm at? Or does he say, you know what, I've done everything that I can do for Michigan, I've delivered on every promise that I've made, maybe now let's go try and get another one of those Super Bowls like my brother has?
If he left with winning it, all you could say is thank you. But I think even in defeat Monday night, and he left, you tell me from a Michigan man's perspective, you've got a letter jacket, I don't. Would you say thank you then?
Absolutely. I think it would be a lot sweeter if you can get this national championship. In fact, it'll be the first national championship Michigan's ever won. And I say that because I'm getting super technical here. I mean, before the
splits,
playoff and the BCS era, national championships weren't won, fellas. They were awarded, Brett. I mean, you know this as well as anybody. And you look at that 97 year where we're talking about that was the last one that was awarded. Well, the media awarded Michigan a national championship, but the coaches awarded Nebraska. So really, if you win this one, you will have won the first national championship in the history of the most storied program in the sport. That would be significant. But on the other side of that, even if you lose, like you said, you have to remember where this program was. I had to play for Rich Rodriguez for 2 years. Things were not pretty. Michigan didn't think it could get that bad in Ann Arbor. They just didn't think. They thought we could hire anybody, and we're always going to be one of the better teams in the country. And not to take any shots at Nebraska, because I really love the Nebraska brand, and they have the longest sellout streak, and I think Matt Rule's a guy who can start to really rebuild that program and get big-time recruits in there. But, that's Nebraska shows you, like, hey, you're not always guaranteed to be on top just because you were once a blue blood in the sport. Hiring Jim Harbaugh now has brought Michigan not only back to Big Ten dominance, but on the national level. And this win specifically, to go out and to beat Nick Saban, no one's going to care that he didn't have, one of like his Bryce Young or his Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback. No one's going to be talking about that, this was, they struggled throughout the season and had to fight their way to get to this game. Like, all that matters is Jim Harbaugh did figure out a way when they needed it most to beat Alabama and to beat Nick Saban. And to me, the way the players responded right after that game saying, no, we're not finished, we have one more. I was like, man, they really might be a team of destiny this year.
I think you're absolutely right with that. Really, all the whole season, the fight that they've shown, and kind of in the face of adversity has been really, really cool to see. I want to go back to the Washington game from Monday night against Texas, because really all season long, everybody has talked about Washington's offense. We know Michael Penix. We know that group of receivers. They've got a 1,000-yard running back in the backfield, an electric offense, but it seems like everyone talks about the offense and then says, well, their one weakness is the defense. What did you make of that end of the game sequence where Texas gets the ball, they get into the red zone, they have 3 or 4 opportunities to get into the end zone. Into the end zone, and then Washington's defense steps up and really wins the game for them.
Well, trust me, I studied Washington's defense a lot in the offseason before I went out on the limb to him to make the college football playoff, because everyone knew about the offense. Michael Penix Jr. threw for 4,500 yards a season ago, right? So everybody knew that. They knew the wide receivers. I did my due diligence, and I said, will Washington's defense be improved enough for me to put them in my college football playoff and not get clowned? I mean, you guys know when you do this for a living, if you're wrong even a little bit, I mean, Kansas State fans came after my throat a year ago when they won the conference and I had them winning 4 games or something like that. So, I knew how improved this Washington unit was. To have a stand like that against one of the best play callers we've seen in Steve Sarkisian, and against a quarterback in Quinn Ewers that we already saw go to Tuscaloosa and really light it up against the Tide. Yes, it's impressive. And even more than that, the physicality all the way around. I mean, they are the most, Jake Crane said this on our show, they are the most physical, finesse team that you will see. They're averaging 65% drop back rating through much of the year, and yet the last 5 games, Dylan Johnson averaged 136 yards per game on the ground. That's against defenses like Oregon State. That's incredibly impressive. And, when you add on to that all of the things that Michael Penix Jr. brings to the table, then you have a team that really can go toe-to-toe. Again, when it comes to Michigan, I think they can certainly match that physicality. You've seen it already. So the question becomes, do you shoot yourself in the foot? I think those special teams mistakes are an anomaly. I think one thing that here's something that bodes well for each team. On the Washington side, Michigan, what was the hump they couldn't get over 3 years ago? It was beating Ohio. So when they finally do that, and they beat the Buckeyes, they exhale, right? And they make the college football playoff, they get blown out by Georgia.
And you have to advance.
You play the Buckeyes on the road. What's the hump you can't get over? You hadn't won in Columbus in 20 years. You finally do that. You exhale a little bit. You get the easier draw in TCU, and they end up beating you because you blinked. Well, now what's the hump that they couldn't get over? Winning a first round of a college football playoff game against an SEC team. So when you do that, does Michigan exhale at all? And they don't finish, and they blink, and Washington goes in there and beats them. And then, for the positive for Michigan, I would say they've already had their tight game. Right? Like, they played tight on special teams. J.J. McCarthy played tight. He missed a lot of throws that ended drives. They've already played tight. Washington played very free, very loose. Do you see a little bit more panic in some of the plays from Washington because now they've made it and defied all these expectations by making the championship game, or maybe Michigan plays a little looser or freer? I'm looking for all of those things next week.
All right, well, before we let you go, we got to get your prediction for the big game. Michigan, Washington, you've been high on both of these teams all season long. Who wins it Monday night?
Yeah, man, it's got to be a year of destiny for Michigan at this point. I can't have come this far, even though it will be a little bit of a win-win for me because I have a very good friend who played with me at Michigan. He's the tight ends coach at Washington, and certainly I will be very happy for him if the Huskies take it. But I'm going to ride with my alma mater. Give me the Michigan Wolverines. Let's go 38-24, actually.
Ooh. I like
That's high scoring. We'll take it.
I'll take
and
it
we'll talk about it next week, David.
Yeah, we will. Thanks, David.
I can't wait. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you so much. Have a great week.
You too.
David Cohn with us every week from Crane and Company, and he played at Michigan, and he was right in the preseason and right in the playoffs about the 2 finalists. That's good picking, isn't it?
It's really good pick. I mean, we should ask him some national predictions for the year because he got those right.
And for the Harbaugh boys, national championship in college and Super Bowl for the other one could happen in about a 6-week span.
Yeah, well, and earlier today, me and Johnny Radio were talking about it, and he said, who has the better chance right now of winning it all, Jim or John? And I said, well, right now, I think you have to say Jim because
he's in the finals.
A 50% chance right now. I said, I think the chances are pretty good for both of them.
And yesterday when we were talking about our expectations for Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, and we all kind of agreed on just an AFC championship game.
Right.
Well, if they're the 1 seed, that's just one win, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So,
that's not setting a bar too high for anyone.
Not at all.
He's got to get there being the landslide MVP
absolutely.
like that.
Yeah, 100%. But no, I mean, it could be a really good summer for the Harbaugh boys.
And you're seeing on Twitter and around social media the interview of the Harbaugh parents after the game, and it looked just like they looked in New Orleans at Super Bowl 47 when they matched up. The dad, a little more wound tight, more like Jim.
I was about to say, spitting image of Jim.
Really is. The mom, a little looser, a little more garrulous, like John.
Yeah, really
I don't know if garrulous is the right word for anybody in the Harbaugh family, but a little more receptive to doing the media tour.
Yes, no. I mean, when I saw the clip of his father, I said, "Whoa, that's Jim."
Where they get it.
I mean,
and that pregame story about, and every family, every family, cracking on the parents of let's go on a big vacation,
right?
And we're not going on any vacation. And then when they would go to those Rose Bowls, when he was on Bo Schembechler's staff, that was vacation.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. But like you said, I mean, it could be a really good summer. Both of them, I think, have really good chances of winning it all. And what a story that would be! I should have put that in my predictions because that would be an unbelievable
Brothers
story.
Harbaugh. That is a good story. Happy New Year from everyone at Jason's Deli. Over 200 area associates for this Jason's Deli grouping. They wish everyone a happy and healthy and prosperous 2024. And healthy, it's the cornerstone at Jason's Deli, first franchise in the nation to be trans fat free. It's all about choice at Jason's Deli, regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the Build Your Own, you will be delighted at Jason's Deli. I ate lunch there yesterday. It was packed and the food was delicious. All those salads, soups, breads, cheeses, spreads. And I love the chili this time of year, really any time of year, but the Mesa chicken salad, the nutty mixed up salad, the Big Chef salad, and that great salad bar. Over 30 items on the salad bar to choose from for you to prepare it however you would like. Plenty of organic food to choose from. Catering anytime, anywhere. They just got through the Super Bowl of catering time of year, and they will be catering around the big game coming up if you want to have your event taken care of by them at Jason's Deli. They've got it down. And in all these locations like Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova, the complimentary free ice cream. Again, Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. And check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, the Grizzlies had a win last night over the Spurs. They're right back at it tonight at home against the Raptors. We'll talk about last night's win, tonight's matchup against the Raptors next on Sports Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 1717.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store. With 20 employees along with complete inventory of items, big to little, finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and Weber grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, even new keys with key fob programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws, you need it. East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Quince and White Station.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every dollar you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. They're still trying to clean up this crash where a car's on its top. 40 westbound right at the Jackson exit there on Austin P. Highway. That one's going to be out there for a little bit longer. I'm also looking at a wreck here in the Midtown area on 240 northbound right at South Parkway. It's just that time of the afternoon now for it to be slow and heavy on 240 north and southbound. Right here in the Midtown area, this wreck is not helping. Again, it's in the northbound lanes on 240 northbound again right at South Parkway. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Back into Sports Time. Bryant, Brett, and Johnny with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And we talked a little bit about it earlier, but last night, Grizzlies in action against the Spurs. We talked about it a lot yesterday, a game that the Grizzlies really needed to go out and win. We didn't necessarily say go out and cover. We just said go out and win it comfortably.
Did I hear La Liga conversation in the hallway?
You did, yeah.
Real American money.
That's right, on La Liga. I mean, it's huge soccer league.
Good
Brad,
deal.
it's the soccer league of Spain. I mean,
I gave you the winner of the century.
You sure did. I mean, Michigan money line when they were down, getting the ball.
Well, the Century Golf Tournament coming up this weekend. I gave you the winner.
I thought you just meant the pick of the century.
No.
You gave me the century, yes.
But read that text chain. Do you have the text chain from me?
I do.
Because I wonder what stage of the game that was in. Because Bama was ahead and had finally taken kind of not domination, but it felt like to most it was going their way. I didn't have that feeling.
7:04.
7:04. I wonder what point of the game that was. Game kicked at 4, so that was 8, 9, 10 minutes to play, probably.
I think.
Read the whole text.
I think Alabama had just gotten
I don't think
the
there's
ball.
anything bad in there.
Bad. What are the odds right now to lie? This was just random. Me and Brett had not texted
How about this, Johnny?
all weekend. I get a text from Brett Monday night. I'm laying on my couch watching the game. About to go meet my buddy to watch the second game. What are the odds right now to live bet Michigan? Bet us $10. We'll split it. I said it's plus 450 right now. I think I actually got it 475, but whatever. He said, bet it with 3 exclamation points. I gave him a thumbs up. He said, what would we win for $10? I said, about $60. He says, that all? Dang, bet it. Then we talked about TV ratings, 30 million. I mean, it's going to be an incredible number when it comes out.
We got everything right on that.
And then I texted you back and said, winner. in all caps, exclamation points after they were
read the rest.
Let's see. Yes, keep it all. Good start of the year. I said no. We're splitting it. You called it. Mi casa, su casa. I just had a feeling.
I like it.
I would keep it that cash. That's Bryant's money.
It was a good start to the year. I'm mad that you wouldn't take it
Hey,
because that was a great call.
Brian said we splitting it.
We're definitely splitting it. I put no effort into that pick.
Good guy, Brett.
I
Good
just
guy,
had the
Brett.
sports book to be.
I was trying to pay it forward to start the new year
That's
off,
right.
Johnny.
No, I got to pay it.
Now,
Johnny, you want to pick for tonight?
Now
I'll
I'm telling you,
later.
Tom Kim to win this weekend at Kapalua.
Now Tom Kim and Brett, I'm glad you gave me that because I've been wanting some picks for the first golf tournament of the Brett. You know what they say? You can't bet on all the golf tournaments if you don't bet on the
That's
century.
it.
I mean, you gotta bet it. So.
Now you know that's the golf course. The Dave's out there with the Tigers one year. You got to ask him about this tomorrow. He's out there with the Tigers one year. I think he was with the Tigers, but anyway, he played golf at that course, and you know how 18 just falls off the earth. I mean, you just get the ball moving.
Oh yeah,
it goes way down there. Through the years, his drive, it has grown from 310 down the irrigation line to like 490. I mean, at some point, it's going to be all the way to California.
Oh,
that drive
great.
out at that course. But it kicks off the golf year.
Yep.
At nighttime viewing. I don't know how much I'm going to watch on Thursday and Friday and even Saturday night, but Sunday night I will.
Sure, absolutely.
After the NFL. Because no Sunday night game this week, right?
No, last game. Yeah, you might be right.
I don't think.
I'll have to double check
Sunday.
that.
I know not Monday.
No, certainly not Monday. No Thursday night game. We've got 2 on Saturday. I didn't look that far into Sunday. It always kills me the end of the year because
No, NBC Sunday night. Bills Dolphins.
Okay, so we will have.
Sorry, I may not watch any golf.
Sorry, maybe no Century this week. And no, I'll dip in a little bit and just kind of see. I certainly bet on it. We got Tom Kim already. We might have a couple other daily plays out there, but it's fun.
Grizzlies took care of business last night. They have to do that again tonight.
Yes.
Look, I know the illness that went through the team, and it was real, and we can attest, all of us.
Man.
I had some form of crud. You didn't. You've escaped it.
I did. My family did.
They had it.
Yeah, that's a story for
your
all.
Your last deal was around August.
Yeah, no, I maybe I was immune or something, whatever they say, but I did not get it. The rest of my family,
I'm ready to get immune.
Sick as a dog.
Because I had it August. I had it.
You sure did. That's a good point.
I had it once during football, about a week around the Arkansas Ole Miss game, and I had it then. The Grizzlies had it.
Absolutely.
And I think Ja may still be a little weak from it at 26.
Yeah,
night.
I mean, no, it doesn't show in his play. He's an incredible athlete. But no, you go out there last night at home, good crowd, and you get the job done. Did you really want to be outscored in the fourth quarter? But I think at that point, they were
That's
up.
a great Monday night or Tuesday night crowd.
Oh, yeah, it was really, really good. But I think at that point they knew they had that game in control. Maybe take that foot off the gas a little bit. But I thought a good win. Now you got to turn around and play this Toronto team with new head coach Darko Rakovic, who came from the Grizzlies, and Desmond Bain just
much love
praises him for his development and what he is today. So there will be a lot of slapping the backs and handshakes before the game with him, and certainly after the game. But I mentioned their moves earlier over the weekend. They made a trade with the Knicks. In that trade, they sent OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa, and Malachi Flynn. Hope nobody was going down there tonight to see Precious Achiuwa. They'll be
how many
upset.
teams had Anunoby in a trade deal and nobody could pull it
all
off?
of
The
them.
Grizzlies.
Everybody.
Grizzlies are certainly up there.
Everybody
I mean,
had
it seemed like every single team in the
almost
league.
like Kelly Oubre's in every
That's
deal.
right. Yes.
That is true, Brett. That's a true statement.
It really is. But so they send those guys to the Knicks. In return, R.J. Barrett going back to his home country of Canada, Emmanuel Quickley, and a second-round pick. I think that's originally from Detroit, whatever. So this is a team that had been struggling to start the season. Now you've got 2 pieces coming in that you've got to kind of get acclimated with the rest of the team. So this is a team certainly looking for momentum. But like you said, Brad, I think a team that you should go out there and win fairly comfortably against.
Get this one tonight and then go on the road, and if you just scratch against the Lakers, Phoenix, or Dallas, fine. If you don't, okay.
Yeah, no, but I think, back to what we were talking about with our predictions of, 26 home games remaining, and
got to get going.
You need to take advantage of all of those, and if you can kind of get back into that groove of really having success in the home court, then when you go on these tough road trips like the one you're going on after tonight, if you can grab one, maybe two, then I think you're in a decent spot.
Just 3 wins at home, 3-12 at home this year.
I guess it's not hard to believe because of those 25 games that we went through.
Yeah.
But it is hard to believe that a team that has been so good over the last 2 or 3 years at home is that bad this year on their home court.
And this spring or in June will be 5 years since Toronto won their title. It has really changed since then.
A lot has changed. A lot of new faces from the top to the bottom.
They got their championship.
They got it, and that definitely means something. And now the rebuild starts.
I'd trade with them.
Yeah, I certainly would. I know Pascal Siakam is now in trade talks. I think pretty much everybody that has not just been picked up in this trade with the Knicks are pretty much, they're kind of floating out there. Obviously, the young guys like Grady Dick, certainly not on the table. But and Scotty Barnes, who they want to build around, who is an unbelievable player.
Our predictions: you had Oklahoma City. I have Minnesota being around at the end. Is it a little soon for them? Does Denver's experience eventually win out come May, June basketball?
Yeah. I think ultimately, yes, that team, we saw what they could do. And I think when you get, Brett, we saw the Grizzlies last year in the playoffs, a great team. We saw them all season long, but they were missing one piece, and that was a center, and they struggled. When these two teams, whether it be the Timberwolves or the Thunder, when they get kind of deep into the playoffs, maybe you have an injury, maybe the young Chet Holmgren is not ready for kind of the grind of NBA playoff basketball. Nikola Jokic is going to, eat off of that and go out and drop 30 and have, 20 rebounds and 7 assists. And so, I definitely think they probably catch anybody.
Did you see the story? It was while I was away that Jokic has said that, and he didn't do it. He didn't do it demonstratively. I don't think he did it militantly or mean spirited at all. Just said when he retires, he wants to just go away and have the world leave him alone and not recognize. Did you understand where he was coming from? I think I did.
Absolutely. And I think if
he's a reluctant star.
Yes.
Yeah, he really is.
He doesn't want to. Now, I think he wants to win. I know he doesn't. Probably he can't mind the automatic deposits.
No, absolutely not.
But he doesn't want the superstardom.
Brett, this is the same guy we're talking about that was upset that their championship parade was 3 days after the.
He's ready to go home.
The championship because he wants to go home.
And the team goes, no. You've got a real important job to do for us to.
You got to be here for this chain. He goes, I want to go home and race my horses.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did say.
And that's what whenever he is not on a basketball court and he has time away, he is at a racetrack and he loves horses.
Back in his country.
Back in his country, he loves his horses. I know here he'll stop
I think
places.
It's kind of refreshing.
It really is. And I know there's the kind of jokes on social media of this guy hates basketball. I don't think he hates basketball, but it's a guy that, is kind of in his own lane.
I don't think he hates the fans.
No.
He's just a simple guy.
He's just a simple guy and kind of has his own way in his own lane and kind of wants to keep it there. I like it.
7-1 and 300 and that good, people are going to recognize you.
Yeah, everybody going to recognize
and you're going to be pretty good at basketball, especially if you're a little athletic like he is.
And we look forward to I look forward to going to FedEx Forum tonight, my first game of the new calendar year. And next Thursday, we're going to be at Sissy's Log Cabin again.
There we are.
For the grand opening. It looked like it was kind of the soft opening around Christmas back in December, early December when we were there. And we look forward to being back next week. And we're going to have some great giveaways and fun times. The partnership that they have with the Grizzlies and the Tigers, they just love. Like the Kiss Cam at the Tigers game, the VIP experience at Grizzlies games, and the Memphis Grizzlies jewelry line. We look forward to, I know we're going to have a lot of tickets to give away. The Sissy's experience, you can go by and have somebody special with you and come by for complimentary drinks, an unforgettable experience, the unwavering commitment to the Memphis community. The store is going to serve as a model for all future stores. We look forward to being there next week for the official grand opening, 9,000 square feet in Laurelwood with all the expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more. 6 locations across Arkansas and Tennessee, and a selection of diamonds and estate jewelry and fine gifts that will make someone feel really, really special. Valentine's coming up. Just got through the Christmas season. Again, official jeweler for the Grizzlies and for the Tigers, and the floor seat experience at Grizzlies games you'll just love. And I think we're going to have that to give away next week. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, an expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for your next car? Give Car Corner a try. Car Corner, located at 2653 Mount Moriah. They specialize in cars under $15,000. Bad credit? No problem at Car Corner. CarCornerMemphis.com. That's CarCornerMemphis.com. They even have cash cars under $7,000. That's Car Corner at 2653 Mount Moriah. CarCornerMemphis.com. Look for the building with the teal green roof.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your buddy Johnny Radio. I'm here with Mark, the owner of Dyer's, out in Collierville's historic town square, where they've been cooking up them burgers since 1912, the old-fashioned way. Mark, what's going on in life? I see you got your 4 kids with you. What do they love about Dyer's?
Man, they love everything about Dyer's. They love all the great food that we serve, and they really like eating our good food and watching some of their favorite sports.
Braden, what do you like at Dyer's?
I like a bacon burger with fries, a milkshake, and with a Tigers game in the background.
Carter, who's your favorite football team?
The Carolina Panthers, and just with some macaroni with that sounds amazing.
My man Beckham, what's your favorite food over at Dyer's?
We like the double cheeseburgers.
Kinley, what is your favorite dish over at Dyer's?
Daddy's cheeseburgers and the Dallas Cowboys game in the background.
Just remember, everybody, bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team out and eat at our place.
So head on over to Dyer's in Collierville's historic town square.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Is your home still not warm enough or running out of hot water? Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, and we've got exciting news for you. Introducing Choate's Carrier Repair Buyback Program. If you've had HVAC or water heater repairs in the past year, you're in luck. Choate's will credit your repair costs up to $1,500 with a brand new HVAC or tankless water heater system. Yep, you heard right. Just bring your repair invoice from the last 365 days and get ready to upgrade your home's comfort. Say goodbye to those chilly nights and inconsistent heating. Choate's has you covered with various low-payment financing plans, making your upgrade more affordable than ever. Imagine a more efficient and reliable system keeping your family cozy all winter long. And here's the best part. This offer is a substantial boost towards a state-of-the-art heating solution. Ready to take the next step? Schedule your free estimate by calling 347-8086. And remember, turn to the experts with Choates and let our family serve your family.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, I really like my big number today. I told you yesterday that I came in with just a
Now, the name
ton.
of the segment is Big Number, right?
Yeah. Why?
I'm going to blow it out.
Oh,
man, I love it, Brett.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay, well, I'm glad you prefaced that before mine because I don't think mine's going to come close to yours now. But I did say yesterday, Johnny, you weren't here. I wheeled in a wheelbarrow.
No.
Of just
big numbers
just
everywhere.
all big numbers. You know, it was loaded up, and it's the same. It was actually the same one that I'm going to use this year for all of my winnings. We're going to kill it. We're going to crush the books this year, Johnny. We're going to win so many bets this year that I'm going to have all my money in a wheelbarrow. But because it was only the 2nd yesterday of January, I brought it in with all of my big numbers that I had found over the weekend, a long weekend. So my big number today, I didn't get to use this one yesterday, is 30.
Okay.
This comes from the NFL. This season, Tommy DeVito has been sacked 36 times, while Daniel Jones was sacked 30 times. The Giants are the first NFL team since the NFL-AFL merger to have two different quarterbacks sacked 30-plus times in a single season.
Number. Great.
That's incredible.
Great.
Phenomenal.
That really is.
Great.
Thank you, John.
Did I see Tommy DeVito's dad lashing out at the Giants and maybe their coaching staff?
I missed it. I missed it.
And even inferred that, he was being treated shabbily. This guy's done nothing. He's been treated pretty well.
Yeah, he has done nothing to be treated well.
Man. Tom DeVito's his dad's name.
Did you catch that story?
I didn't know.
Anything on the Google machine about it? I mean, I know I saw that.
No.
And I thought, no, Dad. You can't be Little League Dad in the NFL.
I don't see it, but here we go. Tommy DeVito's dad not sure what Giants quarterback did wrong, quote, wrong to get benched.
You're terrible. That's what you did wrong.
Yeah, perplexed plumber. Eagles force
said every dad ever about their son being benched.
That's right.
I don't know what he did wrong.
Exactly.
The poor Bama center's dad going, what's everybody so mad at him for?
That's too bad.
Did you see the day the center's in the portal?
Oh, I saw something like 10 guys in the last hour.
A lot of guys hit the portal quick.
A ton of guys. Here's a quote from Tom Sr. I was a little perplexed by it. I didn't see him do anything wrong.
Did you watch the game?
It's a great quote. I don't know. Oh, I guess I'll find out after film. I love that.
My big number, $11.6 billion.
Wow.
$11.6 billion. That's the net worth of Panthers owner David Tepper.
Oh, man.
And he is a special kind of tool. I mean, he is something else. But he was fined $300,000 for sloshing a drink on a fan.
What a wild video that was over the weekend.
The percentage of his $11.6 billion, we've got more in our pocket than that represents for his $300,000. It's just nothing.
I love just the visual of the NFL having to send out a memo to all 32 teams yesterday about, trying, make sure this is exactly how you do it to make sure a guy is eligible for a play. And then right after that, sending another memo, reminder to all owners, please do not throw drinks at opposing fans.
That's so sad. That's a
Do
bad
you have to
look.
be reminded of that?
Good Lord.
I wouldn't think you have to. I wouldn't think a owner would have to, but after that.
Be nice, say thank you and may I. I mean, do you have to... For grown men, But that Tepper, he's something.
I mean, the stories that are starting to come out about him. I mean, I heard stories from, I guess, a staffer with the Panthers that the past, 2 coaches have had to have weekly meetings with him about, what they're doing.
He wants to see game plans.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he wants everything laid out.
That's that unusual.
But, I mean, it just sounds like it's...
But wants to make notes and highlight, I don't think this is going to work.
Way over the top of what regular... I understand Jerry Jones is very hands-on, but it sounds like this guy is
But I don't think Jimmy Johnson would let Jerry Jones talk about his game plan.
No. I don't think that would have happened either.
Did you watch any of the Ring of Honor ceremony for Jimmy Johnson?
I watched a little bit.
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was really good.
And he and Jerry Jones, I mean, it's a long and winding road.
Sure, absolutely.
I think they do both love each other.
Yes, and
they'd probably kill each other if they could.
Well, yes, and don't leave them in the same room for an hour. But
it's just pure fact. Yeah. Since Barry Switzer did win one.
Sure,
he did.
So
here we go again, Johnny. With it's been forever since
it's been forever.
But the Cowboys.
It has been.
It's been my entire life. It's been longer than the time.
Right? Don't you want to see that? That would be legendary stuff, man.
A Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to see it in a couple months.
The ratings numbers are really starting to roll out from all the bowl games. Some more TV ratings number. Here's one: the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Yeah.
Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Wow.
3.6 million viewers.
Do you have a number for the Pop-Tarts Bowl? I don't mean to jump you, but
I think I saw a Pop-Tarts Bowl, but I don't have it written
down. That was
down.
another text message I should have read from Brett.
I sent you a picture this morning.
Picture of the Pop-Tarts. I'm thinking of the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Duke's Mayo Bowl, 3.6 million viewers.
That's incredible.
It was amazing.
Christmas Day, Lakers and Celtics.
Lakers and Celtics. That was like the 2:30
Oh, I forgot that game even happened.
Yeah, it was like
3.3 million.
Wow.
Duke's Mayo Bowl beat Lakers Celtics.
Wow.
I forgot that game even happened.
Yeah.
The entire viewership for the 5 Christmas Days games, you add up all of them. Now, a lot of them were the same people, but you add that up, it's around 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, Florida State, 63-3. 10 million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Same number of people watched a 60-point rout than the whole number for NBA Christmas Day. Now, the NBA gets a break this year, 2024.
Right.
That because Christmas will be on a Wednesday, and they'll have it back to themselves.
Yes.
They won't be fighting the NFL that day, we think. Now, during COVID, the NFL had to play a game on a Wednesday, and it was like the first Wednesday NFL game since 1948.
We're talking about this week feeling out of whack. I mean, when you had a Wednesday game during that year, I mean, I felt
how would the Players Association accept a Wednesday game? There's no way.
And they would if the NFL.
Well, hold it. If you scheduled maybe an open date for one and one on Thursday the week before, what if you did this? A division game at one place on Thursday, the other place the following Wednesday, Christmas night.
Maybe.
Like Washington and Dallas.
That could work.
Here's the thing, though. If the NFL is going to go through trouble to play a game on Wednesday just to say they can have games on Christmas, they're not going to stop at one game.
They're not. They're not.
At least
That's
2.
true.
They're going to have 2.
I mean,
if
2
they're
or
going
3.
to Bigfoot, they're going to big feet.
They're going to block out the sun. I mean,
you give them an inch, they taking a mile.
I almost went big feet.
Oh, good Lord. No, there's some really good numbers coming in for the bowl games. Johnny, you weren't here yesterday, and I promised to anybody who's tired of hearing anything about the Pop-Tart Bowl, this is the last thing I'll say about it. We predicted exactly what would happen with the Pop-Tart.
Oh, so
how he got devoured.
We saw them wheel it out, and then Johnny, we were here in the last segment, and we said what would be great, what they should do. I remember saying that what I think is going to happen is they're just going to give them the trophy, and there's going to be 2 Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, they're going to be 2 of them.
Which is what happened. I said, and what they should do after that is have the Pop-Tart walk back up onto that toaster.
And say goodbye.
Go down into the toaster, and then out comes a giant
Pop-Tart.
And that's exactly what happened.
Amazing.
Honestly, Johnny, one of the proudest moments of my life.
I was happy about that. I was.
Toaster or cold out of the tin foil?
Oh, I just eat it out of the
me and Brian had the same discussion.
Same conversation the day of the game.
We had the same discussion.
I'm out of the wrapper.
Straight out the wrapper.
Straight out the wrapper.
Johnny tried to say, I said, Johnny, are you a Pop-Tart in the toaster guy? And he goes, yeah, I'm a Pop-Tart in the toaster guy. He goes,
I had it one
once.
time.
I go, that does not make you a Pop-Tart in the toaster guy.
Here's a really sad revelation. I don't own a toaster.
Really?
Me either.
Really?
I don't own
Me
a
either.
toaster.
Really? That is insane.
I don't know that I've ever had a toaster.
Me either.
Since living with my parents.
Good Lord.
Brett, me and you are on the same wavelength.
That is shy. On that note, we need to get to a break because that just blew my mind. Let's go ahead, wrap up this hour, get to a break. When we come back, we're talking college basketball with Kevin Sweeney.
What's wrong? You look bereft.
I am bereft.
What is it?
Well, there's only 3 Central Barbecue locations. The original Central Barbecue in Central, it's closed.
Oh, don't worry, little buckaroo.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This holiday season, give the gift of Gould's with a Gould's gift card for someone you love. It's the perfect gift for everyone. The Gould's gift card doesn't just send wishes, it grants them in store and online. Just come to any Gould's and pick up a gift card or go to GouldSalonSpa.com to purchase online. That's GouldSalonSpa.com. Happy holidays from Gould's. Gould's Salon Spa, locally owned and operated since 1932.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon, Philly. Our paperwork on the earlier wreck, 40 westbound at Jackson and there at Austin P Highway. Hopefully that'll be cleared up sooner than later. Traffic's on the increase now, 240 east, either getting on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway, headed out to Collierville, or continuing 240 east over here at Poplar. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your Valentine's Day headquarters. Go by and see them. Shop local this Valentine's Day. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure studio. And joining us now, talk some college basketball from Sports Illustrated. You can follow him on Twitter at CBB_Central. Kevin Sweeney joins us now. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get to with conference play starting for a lot of teams this week and into the weekend for the rest of them. But I do want to start off with the Tigers. They finished their non-conference slate. Scary against Vanderbilt. Scary, I guess, at times against Austin P last weekend. But with the play of David Jones and what this team has done against some ranked opponents, some high major opponents, what kind of grade would you give Memphis through the non-conference slate into the new year?
I think it has to be an A, just from the standpoint that they've set themselves up to have everything in front of them, right? I mean, they've accomplished, with the wins that they have, at least have the opportunity to be a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, which is a big step from where they've been. Obviously, a lot more work to do and not a lot of margin for error, given that the AAC won't provide that many opportunities for good wins, lots of opportunities for quad 3, potentially even quad 4 losses. But I think given what's in front of them, it's worthy of a strong grade. Now, that being said, the metrics matter, and when you struggle with Vanderbilt, you struggle with Austin Peay, and you don't take advantage of opportunities to boost your numbers, set yourselves up to be disrespected, if you will, on Celeste Sunday. So I think that's something for Memphis that they're going to have to deal with. Obviously, you're going to have ups and downs. You're not going to have a perfect, smooth sailing season in league play, but the way that they win, the style points will matter for them here in January and February.
Kevin, you mentioned the metrics, and Happy New Year. You mentioned the metrics, and so many people here, and it was more media-driven than it was really team or Coach Hardaway. Coach Hardaway played into it some, but it was mostly media-driven of the ranking, the AP ranking. When was the last time a selection committee chairman went out there on Sunday after the reveal and mentioned somebody's AP ranking?
That one of all the things is not very important. No. The
I
respect
said 1980.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It really has been. Does it worry you? There's been reports going around that David Jones hasn't practiced all week. He might not go tomorrow night for the Tigers against Tulsa. Does that worry you at all? A guy that you had on your midseason All-American list, with him, if he was out tomorrow night, does that worry you for the Tigers against the Tulsa team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it worries you from the standpoint that, like you said, he's an All-American. I mean, he's one of the best players in the country so far. You want to have him. They should be able to beat Tulsa with or without him. But Tulsa is a little bit feisty. They have very good guard play with, Haggerty, Kobe Williams, Keaston Willis, and then even, one of their younger guys, still emerging in Tyshawn Archie, who a lot of people like. So they have some guards who can make plays and play themselves into a ball game like this. I don't think they're quite talented enough to beat Memphis, even without Jones, but things could get interesting quickly without him.
It's not the Memphis Tigers' fault that some of the teams they defeated are lacking a little bit, that really need a big push, like Missouri, like Michigan, like Arkansas, like Texas A&M, maybe even Virginia. Of those teams, who needs to have a strong January, February, March, not only to help themselves, but help the Tigers' resume, since Memphis has already defeated those teams?
I certainly think Arkansas. I mean, that's a team that's starting to turn it, I think. Deion Menafield has really helped them. Getting him eligible at the mid-year mark has been huge. Just another guard who can make shots. But we've kind of come accustomed to Arkansas muddling their way through December, early January, and then all of a sudden putting the gas on. And maybe we're starting to see that here again. If they do, that would obviously be huge. Virginia would help as well, just from the standpoint that that was a win over a program and a coach that you really respect. They've played really poorly since that game, got blown out by Notre Dame, who's awful over the weekend. That's a win that you want to age well. But I think Arkansas in particular, that was a win when it happened. You felt like that's one that's going to mean something come March. And so far, the Razorbacks obviously haven't lived up to that hype so far.
And even with the game being at Bud Walton Arena this Saturday, SEC opener against Bruce Pearl and Auburn, and school's not started back yet, but still be a good crowd. Arkansas's got a hold serve at home, don't they?
100%, especially in this league, the way that it looks to me, kind of 1 through 10. I mean, there is an incredible depth in the top 2/3 of this league, and Auburn being barely in the top 25 of the polls, but a top 15 team in most of the metrics. They've looked tremendous so far this season. That will not be an easy game, certainly. And then to roll that into 2 road games at Georgia and at Florida, that will be toss-ups as well. I mean, certainly very important for Arkansas to win that early first home game and build some momentum into the SEC.
I know a lot of people made preseason predictions for who would win the SEC and most other conferences. But now with non-conference behind us, when you look at the SEC with a lot of these teams getting started over the weekend, who would be your pick now to win the conference?
I still think Tennessee's the team I trust the most.
Yeah.
Just, when you're talking about an 18-game season, who do I think can get to 13 or 14 league wins? To me, that would be Tennessee, just because of their balance, their defense, and then their experience. But I still believe that Kentucky's the best team in the league, at their best, certainly. I mean, their explosiveness is unmatched in college basketball right now. And, it's going to be, when they're at their best, they're going to be a tough out. The question is, can they do it consistently enough? I'm not sure, given all the environments they're going to have to walk into, the challenges that they get. And Kentucky will always get the best shot of every opponent that they play. I think that part will be challenging for them, and that's why I think Tennessee probably wins the regular season. But certainly I think Kentucky will be right there. I think Auburn will be right there, and wouldn't be surprised if maybe another team kind of climbs to that next. Maybe it's A&M, maybe it's Alabama, who's had a very tough schedule. Maybe it's Florida, maybe even Arkansas gets healthy and gets back in the mix.
I really trust Rick Barnes in January and February. I don't in March, but we just went through a boatload of local and national predictions, and I have Tennessee going to the Final Four.
I don't hate it. I mean, look, I truly believe this Tennessee team can be different, right? They're better offensively. Connect, give them the shooting they've lacked. They space the floor well. They're unselfish. They play for one another. They have all the makings. At the end of the day, Barnes has to prove it in the NCAA tournament. He has to break through. But, when you watch that team, it's hard not to feel like they could make that type of run.
I went with Purdue, Kansas, Marquette, and Tennessee.
Pretty darn good group. I see a couple of those teams quite a bit. I saw Marquette over the weekend. I'm going to see Purdue on Friday. They certainly all passed the eye test, the experience test, certainly. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, you look at all four of those teams you mentioned. I mean, the through line there is they got juniors and seniors who played in a ton of big games before, and will not be shy in the bright lights of March Madness.
If everybody goes old, like it feels like so many teams want to next year, what will some of these big national recruits? Wouldn't it make G League and other opportunities even more favorable for them since everybody wants to go old?
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating because you have that through line, right? That thought, and then you also have the G League Ignite in a really difficult spot right now. The program's the worst it's been. They have 8 young players, 18 and 19-year-olds in the team, and they've gotten destroyed. And the NBA, I think, is going to reevaluate and not want such a big roster. So it'll be an interesting kind of roster crunch for these 5-star kids. I'm going to spend 1 year in college. What does my year look like? I'm really curious to see what happens. I think the right move for kids, to be honest, is to just let things play out. The traditional thing to sign early and be locked in November. To me, that doesn't make a lot of sense. If I'm a 5-star recruit, I want to wait it out until early May, feel out where the rosters are, feel where I can make a big impact, keep being recruited by all these elite brands, and find out where I have the opportunity to go start and play a big role, and which programs are going to want to go get older and say, we're not a great fit anymore. We recruited you for a long time, but we need to transfer at the spot. Mm-hmm. That's the way I would play it if I was an elite high school recruit. But they're certainly an interesting time for them. And this spring, the last year of the COVID year seniors. So one more year of a kind of bloated portal with lots of old options before the picking starts to swim a little bit.
Kevin, we've had some really fun games over the last week or so as these teams are wrapping up non-conference play, but one that caught my eye, I know a lot of people have been talking about it, was San Diego State's win over Gonzaga, and I've seen a lot of people be critical of this Gonzaga team this season because we're not really accustomed to them going into conference play with 4 losses, but when you look at them, Purdue, Washington, UConn, and San Diego State. They're all quality opponents. Maybe you could question Washington. How do you assess this Gonzaga team as they enter conference play?
Yeah, I mean, I think individually, none of those losses are all that alarming. Right. Collectively, it's a little bit. And look, I said after that loss to UConn in the Elite Eight last year that was the end of Gonzaga's true title contending window. Mm-hmm. They had some great teams, obviously with Jalen Suggs and then Chad Holmgren, Drew Timme there for 4 years. Kind of felt like the culmination of everything that Hugh had built. come up short again. And you look up, all right, they're going to have to replace a program legend. They don't have Tommy Lloyd on staff to recruit, obviously now at Arizona. And, to add to it, you now have the NIL situation, which, Gonzaga's prepared to compete there, but Gonzaga's not going to be dominating every bidding war to get recruits, right? So all those things put together, I just think the talent level's a little bit lower this year, and I think it's going to be going forward. They missed out on Zoom Diallo. He was a really highly rated recruit. He was the guy that they had recruited for a long time. He was in their backyard. They don't get it done. So I think the more I look at it, the more I wonder, is this closer to the new normal for Gonzaga, which is very competitive, will be in the NCAA tournament, maybe make the Sweet 16, but I don't see the upside of going to a Final Four or competing for a championship that they've had in recent years.
Before the show started today, Bryant and I were talking college basketball, Kevin, and I mentioned last year's Final Four. UConn was the biggest name there, and they won it. But it has really held up so far in this college basketball season after a rather surprising, for sure, 3 of the 4 there last year. UConn right now is 9 in the net. San Diego State is 23. Miami, or Florida Atlantic rather, is 21. San Diego State 23, and Miami, where'd we find them at, Bryant?
56,
56 or so.
Mid-50s.
53. So it's held up pretty well, and they all can improve over the next 2.5 months.
Yeah, I think for all those programs, reaching the Final Four was something of a culmination of a lot of of a build, right?
Gonzaga-esque,
right? Dan Hurley, from early in his tenure, said a few times in press conferences, you better get us now because we're coming, and it's going to be hard to beat us in a couple of years. And he's gotten to that point where they're recruiting at such a high level, they're developing players at an elite level, and I think UConn's certainly right there in the mix. And Miami, we'll see. They've had an up and down start, but certainly the talent level, and you remember they made the Final Four the year after making an Elite Eight and then losing some key pieces, right? Guys who were really huge parts of that, like Charlie Moore and Cam McGusty, who led them to that Elite Eight. But then they lose Isaiah Wong. Has not been the huge step back that I think a lot of people thought was possible. So, certainly a credit to all 4 of those coaches and the programs that they've built. Will be interesting to see the FAU Memphis battle in the AAC. Will be interesting to see San Diego State versus Colorado State and New Mexico. And the rest of that absolutely loaded Mountain West this season. But certainly all 4 teams look like potential tournament teams and teams that we'll be paying attention to again come March.
Your Twitter is great, and if you go to it, you can tell how much you love Colorado State.
They are a fun team. I went out and met Nico Medved and their staff, top assistant Ali Farokhmanesh of March fame. Met them a couple years ago, and just to really take into their kind of outlook on the game and how to play. They share the ball at such an elite level. They recruit incredible skill and smarts and toughness, and they're also a great example of a program that has not had to change its ways despite all of the changing kind of landscape of NIL and the portal. I mean, certainly they've went in the portal and gotten key pieces, but they've gotten guys that fit their culture. And Isaiah Stevens, their fifth-year point guard, just became the all-time leading scorer. I mean, he has been incredible for them and is truly an All-American level talent. Could have went anywhere in the offseason if he had wanted to as a grad transfer, decided to come back, probably left money on the table to do so, almost assuredly did. But has, I think, made himself money long-term by being such a all-time great at Colorado State. I think has played himself into the NBA draft conversation. So they're a fun team, 13th, I think, in the AP poll right now. Certainly could be even higher in my estimation just with what they've accomplished. That team certainly has what it takes to be in that second weekend come March.
How good is the Mountain West this year, and how many teams can make the tournament out of that conference?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's as good as it's been. I mean, the last 2 years, 4 bids each, but one team to the first 4 in both those years. I think it's hard to get over that just because a lot of times the resumes are built on beating one another. Right. In the Mountain West, they don't get a ton of great opportunities in the non-league, but I think the door is at least cracked open to get a fifth because Utah State has been really good, surprisingly. Mm-hmm. I mean, the new coach lost the whole roster. Here they are at 13-1. I mean, there's a little bit of depth beyond Colorado State, San Diego State, New Mexico, and Nevada. That this kind of consensus top 4. So, certainly the Pac-12 is the quote-unquote power league out west, but Mountain West is the best conference on the West Coast, in my opinion. It's certainly shown it so far.
And Boise State could be a tough game.
Absolutely. I mean, they have played a tough schedule. They played Clemson. They played Virginia Tech. They played Butler. They played St. Mary's. They played San Francisco, who's one of the best teams in the WCC. Like they have grinded it out. They're 9-4 still. They'll be in the mix. Leon Rice does a great job. So that league. I mean, if you get a chance to go out, just if you're a college basketball fan, go out to some of those atmospheres, to some of those games. It is so competitive every night. The fans are great. I mean, it is everything you want in college basketball. It's not quite, the Big East of the West, but it has good. That feel sometimes with how the fans are and the atmospheres are.
Our guest is Kevin Sweeney. We talk college basketball with him every Wednesday all the way through One Shining Moment. Did y'all catch the One Shining Moment today on Twitter put to the bowl season?
No, I missed that.
It was pretty good, but One Shining Moment is a college basketball thing. We don't need college football trying to steal that, do we, Kevin?
No, we don't.
No, can't steal it. I mean, I will say I am in favor of any sport where they try to eat the mascot at the end of one of the games.
Much discussed. We have.
We love the Pop-Tart.
We loved it. In fact, this morning, having Pop-Tarts, I sent a photo of it to Brian.
I mean, I nearly went on bust them after seeing it all on social media. So I guess the advertising worked on it.
It did work. All right, the Memphis Tigers right now 40 in the net. Let's say they go 15-3 in the AAC, and the 3 losses are to the better parts. One of them to FAU, and the other 2 against very respectable SMU and someone else. What would that do to their net at the end of the year? They catapult all the way from 40 to what?
I don't know that they would move up a ton. I mean, it really depends on how much they are blowing people out, right? I mean, I think that's really the thing that's so striking. I mean, Ole Miss, obviously, in your guys' backyard as well. I mean, Ole Miss is 3 spots up in Ken Palm from where they were in the preseason, despite being 13-0. No one would have predicted Ole Miss
in the net.
Right. They have not moved up because when they played Detroit Mercy, who's one of the worst teams in the country, they beat them by 1. When they played Alabama State, again, one of the worst teams in the country, they beat them by 10. Right. So if Memphis, it's not just margin of victory, but it's a lot of it. And for Memphis, like when they get opportunities to play, Tulsa on the road and it's a 10-point spread, you got to beat them by 20 and not by 5 if you want to climb in the metrics. And that I think will be as critical as their win-loss. I certainly think they'll be right in the mix and could climb into the teens or 20s with posting that gaudy win-loss record you mentioned. But so much it goes beyond just the win-loss these days in college basketball.
Kevin, I made it a point last night to watch Illinois and Northwestern. I wanted to see what Illinois looked like without Terrence Shannon Jr. I know they went out and beat up on Fairleigh Dickinson, but in a conference game against a Northwestern team, and I was shocked to see them win that game by 30 points without their star player. Marcus Domask had a massive night, 32 points. He's now averaging 13.2 points, a little over 4 rebounds per game. How good can this Illinois team be despite losing Terrence Shannon Jr.? Do you think they can still finish top 3 in that conference?
Maybe it's early and I'm overreacting, but I really think they can because they do so many things well. I mean, they're huge and switchable defensively. Their bigs can guard guards. Their guards can guard big. They have, the ability to just drive you downhill. They get great shots at the rim. They're old, and they're very connected. I mean, I think the one concern you had when you lose such a key piece like Terrence Shannon was, like, how does just the psyche of the team respond to such a kind of cataclysmic moment? And obviously, it's such an unfortunate situation. Nothing that the other players could have controlled. But it's hard. It's hard as a team. Like, it feels like so much wind taken out of your sail. So for them to respond the way that they have has been a true testament to that group's mental fortitude, and obviously also the job that Brad Underwood has done. I think he's truly a great kind of shapeshifter coach, similar to Eric
really
Musselman.
Settled in.
Oh yeah,
yeah, certainly. Just has done a great job of finding ways to win with different rosters. So Purdue on Friday night's a huge step.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to watch it. I'm curious to see if they can hang at Mackey. Not many teams can, but if they can, I certainly think it would solidify them as a top 3 team.
Have you ever been to a game at Mackey?
Oh, I have,
good for you. It looks like it is really alive. Yeah. Almost, you know how we have fallen in love with the scene at Iowa football and how they had the ceremony they have for the hospital. When you see a game at Mackey Arena, that looks like Big Ten college basketball.
Yeah,
on TV.
100%. Yeah. Well, and I think the thing with Mackey that's so cool is I've never been to a place where the fans are more educated. Like, they know every part of the game day experience. They know when they're supposed to cheer. They know, like, every single chant and song. And, like, it is a true production that they put on at Mackey, and it's really a lot of fun. So always look forward to trips down there.
Well, speaking of that Purdue team, they have a comfortable win last night against Maryland, snapping Maryland's 19-game home winning streak. A Maryland team that gave Purdue problems last year. But Zach Edey, hard to believe that you could say he somehow looks better this year for Purdue. They're getting more support from the rest of the team. Some of those guards have really stepped up this year. Where have you seen, though, for Zach Edey, the most improvements, and how different is this team from the team last year that we saw lose in the first round to 16 seed FDU?
Well, I think they're different as a team because of Braden Smith and his emergence. The ability to just kind of play in ball screens and not run a ton of sets, I think, has been really valuable. But with Zach, I think it's funny. I talked to Matt Painter over the summer, and he said, "Look, like, Zach's not done getting better. Like, this is his 7th year playing organized basketball. Like, he is still very much on a developmental curve."
That's a good point.
And I think everyone kind of scoffed at it. And the stats don't show some monstrous improvement, but I just think at the margins he's improved in every way. He's become a better foul shooter. He's improved defensively. He moves his feet better. He fouls less. He's able to stay in the game longer. I mean, all those things make huge differences when you're the most impactful player in the country. Every 30 seconds extra that you play, it's helping Purdue towards the finish line. And he's just been tremendous. His work ethic's great. His mentality is just terrific. Whenever you talk to him, like, his ability to see the bigger picture as a guy who has so much on him every day is just so impressive. And just kind of the perfect superstar to lead your team. I know everybody loves to poke holes. Oh, he's just big. He's not X. He's not Y. But Zach Edey is a generationally great college basketball player, and will go down in history like that, particularly if he can lead Purdue to a national championship, which obviously would be huge in that program's history.
Yeah, it would be absolutely massive. Well, it's going to be a good week in college basketball. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of these teams, really everybody, if you go into the weekend, starting conference play this week. So it should be a lot of fun. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next week.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you. Kevin. Be safe out there. Kevin Sweeney with us every week from College Basketball Central and from Sports Illustrated. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Hewlett & Dunn on the historic square in Collierville since 1961. Western wear, work boots, safety toe, soft toe, rubber boots, boots for every occasion at Hewlett & Dunn. And they want to thank everyone for the great holiday season they just enjoyed, and for so many people that came out, if for no other reason, just to see that beautiful historic square in Collierville. But Charles and Laura Hall, they really thank you, the very valuable customer, for coming by during the holiday season. They want you back out during 2024. Charles started working there in his teens. He's seen a lot of New Year's start, and now with his wife, Laura, they own the place, known for all the boots, but also for accessories, clothing, and a cap for any team for any season. Boots for every occasion. From head to toe, they've got you covered with every brand imaginable. Dan Post, Ariat, Anderson Bean, whether for men or for women. They've got men's and women's clothing, jeans, pants, shirts, shorts, outerwear, and the best duckhead collection you'll find anywhere. Those Filson jackets, perfect time of year for those. That'd feel good tonight going in and out of FedEx Forum. Charles and Laura Hall invite you to 111 North Center Street or to HewlettDunn.com, but they want you to visit them on the square in Collierville. Sunglasses, boot care products, hats, and every area team snapback you can think of, like the Tigers, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Tennessee, the Razorbacks, and travel bags. The selection is top-notch. HewlettDunn.com. You can visit the website, but they want you to come by 111 North Center Street and visit with them on the square in Collierville at Hewlett & Dunn.
Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Fivesh, owner of Fivesh Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Paid actor portrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GETETHOS.com.
I will not buckle to peer pressure and call Bell Tavern a sports bar. Bell Tavern, tucked away in Barbaro Alley behind 117 Prime, is a great bar. It's got the atmosphere you want in a bar. Not too bright, not too dark, not too quiet, not too loud, and it's got the ice-cold beer and the signature cocktails and access to the kitchen at 117 Prime. So Bell Tavern is first and foremost a bar, just because it happens to be the time of year when professional football happens to be having their playoffs, and yes, they'll be on the high-def TVs at Bell Tavern, but once again, Bell Tavern is not a sports bar entirely.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
The final horse now in the gate, and they're off. They're starting off with a double toe loop jump, leaving a difficult 7-10 split as there's movement on the inside rail. Only 9 pins separate them now as they head to the final quarter mile. They're neck and neck. It's down to the last frame. Here comes the axle jump. They bundled their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Win, strike, savings, gold.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. I'm looking at another wreck here in the Midtown area. It's blocking the left lane. It's 240 southbound at South Parkway. Talk about wrong place, wrong time. It's really affecting that traffic flow trying to get out of Midtown on 240 southbound. Again, here at South Parkway on this accident involving some injuries. Traffic's picked up even more over here on 240 as you get on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway going outbound. Weiber's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64. They are your Valentine's Day headquarters. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
So how you like me now? 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 How you like me now?
Welcome back into Sports Time. About 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending. And Brett, we talked yesterday about Florida Atlantic and kind of the struggle they had over the weekend losing to Florida Gulf Coast. I didn't really realize, and last night Florida Atlantic struggled early against East Carolina. Dominated in the second half. This is Florida Gulf Coast. Before beating Florida Atlantic at home, they had won 5 games. 3 of those 5 wins came against Ave Maria. Okay, I don't have anything on Ave Maria.
I think it's Ave Maria.
Well,
okay.
Tomato, Brett.
Same thing.
New College of Florida.
That's a new college in Florida.
Not a new college they built at the University of Florida.
Mm-hmm. It's not at Gainesville.
and a 2-point overtime a 2-point overtime win over Florida Memorial.
Well, that's dreadful.
Those were 3 of their 5
That sounds
wins.
like a hospital.
It does. I'm sure there is a Florida Memorial.
Check in now at Florida Memorial.
Yeah.
That do sound like a hospital.
It really
Brett.
does. You go there for appendicitis attack at Florida Memorial.
Where'd he go? Where'd y'all take Grandma? Oh, we took her to Florida Memorial.
And she's in good hands.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe not the basketball program.
And they're singing Ave Maria cantata there.
Or Ave Maria, whatever it is. No, so I mean, that's certainly not a good loss for Florida Atlantic. But that shocked me today when I saw.
But it didn't crush them.
No, didn't crush them, and came out flat last night. And I think Brett, that's what I'm worried about with the Tigers a lot this season. Is there's going to be.
I was going to save all my worry for tomorrow. I'm very worried about it.
I'm worried.
Because we talked way back. Goofy stuff goes down in Tulsa.
Yeah,
whether
Brett,
at ORU or at TU.
I'm just always. I think I will always be scarred from that 40-point loss at Tulsa. What, 4 or 5 years ago?
Stunning.
Was it Penny's first year or second year? It was one of the 2 years.
Since that, I think since COVID.
Oh, really? Wow. No, but I mean, they've lost a couple of times since Penny at Tulsa since Penny has taken over. It has not been easy by any means. Even the wins at Tulsa have been kind of
painstaking.
Yeah. I mean, so Tulsa scares me.
You have to lose blood to win there.
And I'm worried, with this team, the success they've had, kind of the same thing we're seeing with Florida Atlantic is they're going to walk into these gyms, especially the sleepy road gyms. They're going to get the best shot. They're going to get a good, a great fan base coming out for these games, and they're going to walk.
Florida
in
Atlantic's not going to get all that. Memphis will. They'll get more of it than FAU that went to the Final Four.
They will, but Florida Atlantic will get a lot of it. It will be Memphis, and so it's going to be tough, and you're going to see this, and so that's why and Brett, we've talked about it. But the people that say they're going to walk through this conference slate, no, there are going to be times you look up, and it's going to be like the Austin Peay game where you're looking up and going, "Why are we down by 4 to Austin Peay this late into the game?"
As long as it's a win, I don't care.
Yeah.
Did that last year.
Yeah,
I think 15-3 is walking through. However you get there.
I should have prefaced this by saying the fan base on social media.
What do they expect? 18-0? 17-1?
Yeah, they expect 1-2 losses, maybe extreme. I mean, they expect.
I don't know that that's fair.
I don't think it's fair either. But it's.
But when did fans get fair?
That's a good point. I mean, it's certainly a down conference.
We both have 15-3. I've got a loss at Wichita State as the first one. You've got a loss at Tulane. It's been very problematical. You have a loss at UAB. My next loss is at Temple. I don't think I any longer believe that. I think if there's another one, it'd be more at Tulane than at Temple. And then we both have losses on the last conference game of the year, regular season, at FAU.
That's a tough one.
Any additions or corrections? Would you change anything? Would you go 16-2? I sure wouldn't go to 4 losses.
I wouldn't.
I had to look for these 3. FAU was easy.
Yeah, I mean,
on the road.
What's question for me when you talk about the losses I have in conference? UAB sticks out to me because I don't know what kind of UAB team we're going to get. I mean, this is a team.
They were lucky to win last night.
Exactly. I mean, I understand it was on the road, but I mean, they barely escaped UTSA.
That will be the definition of a Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely. This is the same
Tigers
team,
go to Bartow Arena.
This is the same team, Brett, that beat Drake in overtime, and Drake is 12-2 this season and has played really, really well.
Valley's really good.
Valley's really good. So it's. You're going to get the best shot. You're going to get, you're going to get in some games where you look up at the scoreboard in the second half and go, this game should not be that close. And it's like you said, Brett, it's all about being able down the stretch, last 5 minutes of the game, being able to close out and get those wins.
Well, do you see a line yet for tomorrow against Tulsa?
Let me look.
I haven't.
I haven't seen one, but I haven't gone out looking for one. And usually I have to go out looking for one.
You do. And why is that with college basketball? Why so late? It took forever to get the Vanderbilt lineup. The line posted a couple of Saturdays ago.
Brett, I do have one. Are we going to do Tiger Banker right now, or are we just going to talk about
No, we're just talking about
it.
This is just discussion group.
Okay. All right.
I was ready.
I'm not invited to this discussion group anymore for Tiger Banker.
Oh, you're always invited. With the champion that you were last year in it.
Right now, Tigers a 9-point favorite on the road.
I didn't think it'd be that big.
See what Ken Palm has.
I thought it would be around 5 or 6.
Yeah. Let's see what KenPom has.
I'm scared to death of tomorrow, just from historical.
KenPom has
House
winning
of
by
Horrors.
11. So that would be Tigers.
Does KenPom ever put his real cash on the line?
I don't know KenPom close enough to know that type of information. No.
Does KenPom do any media?
No, he hates media.
Well, I bet he really hates talk radio.
He will not do media.
None. I've never been driving down the road and listening to a national and up next Ken Pomeroy.
I'll hear a lot of guys that are like cover college basketball. They're like, yeah, me and KenPom were talking about this, or KenPom told me.
So he's
this.
buddies with some.
He's buddies, but I don't know. He doesn't.
Probably
do
a
the
pretty
media
good
tour.
worldview to hate all media.
Well, I mean, it probably is, and it's probably pretty good to be able to have something like this.
I mean, we didn't, but
but I mean, to be able to create something like KenPom that he has that literally everybody references, you can avoid the media.
It's a bigger metric in front of that committee than the AP poll ever thought about being.
I mean, it's different planets, Brett. I mean, it's incredible what it's become.
Again, all the stewing about of getting ranked. I understand the pride you feel in that, but it's meaningless.
Yeah. Looking at, just since I'm on Memphis's page on KenPom, KenPom has Memphis losing 2 more games this season. Florida Atlantic, the final game of the season. Would you like to take a stab at the other loss he has?
On the road?
It is on the road.
UAB.
Wrong.
ECU.
Wrong.
I give.
SMU.
I see that.
Sunday, February 18th at SMU.
At Moody.
At Moody.
That's nothing to freak out about the next day. Is it?
It'd be the second game of
right.
Road
Play
game.
SMU next week at home.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they play a road game before that, so it'd be the second road game on that stretch. But yeah, it would be the second time seeing SMU. He has Memphis winning that game this Sunday, 76-71. He really likes SMU.
And we've got to ask Dave this. I wonder when they go on that road trip, do they do it NBA style? Go and stay and play both of those games.
That's a good question. What are the dates on that?
They're right around each other, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're certainly close to each other.
It's like a Thursday,
Sunday.
So, yeah.
But I mean, that's a long time to feed.
Get home at 3:00 in the morning that Thursday night, Friday morning to travel again on Saturday. I think you go and stay, don't you?
I think so. That seems like a big commitment.
They did it a few years ago somewhere.
Yeah, I remember them doing it, but I don't remember.
We got to ask that.
We do. No, I'm going to write that down. There'll be a Dave question next week. But yeah, no,
I think they shouldn't. And look, the university can afford it for basketball.
Certainly. I didn't realize, and played a pretty good schedule so far. I did not realize SMU's metrics were this good. Defensively, they're a top 25 team on KenPom, and I did not expect that.
And they won last night?
They won last night over Charlotte, 66-54. Really good non-conference schedule for SMU. Texas A&M, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Dayton, Arizona State, Florida State, Murray State.
They had a real good tournament, a real good multi-team event, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And that was that one early in the season. That's a really good non-conference schedule. I did not think all of that of SMU.
Did you look at Joey Brackett's, Joe Lenardi's reveal this week?
I did. I glanced at it. I was going to go back to it, and I never did. Good. Where does he have the Tigers?
Good. Real good. He has Memphis as a 4. That would be in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And that would be Thursday, Saturday games, because remember, we're hosting Friday, Sunday here, and you can't play even on the days you're hosting. You sure can't play at FedEx Forum. But I'm going and looking at the potential of games here because I'm 2 tickets in, just as general fan, and I want to see different teams.
Right.
These aren't different. No. Villanova, saw them win it all. South Carolina, a million times. Kentucky, a million times. But Downtown Merchants want Kentucky. They don't care who I've seen. Fort Wayne, IPFW, I've seen them. And Alabama, the winner of Texas, New Mexico, Illinois, and Akron. I would get 1 out of 8.
I wouldn't mind seeing those teams, but I think we could do better. Brett, I
want
must not have
Wisconsin and Indiana and teams like that.
I must not have looked at this schedule because I would have been freaking out about this pod that the Tigers are in. I mean, this is incredible. The 4 seed against Liberty, which Liberty is nothing to sneeze at.
That would be a tough game.
That'd be a tough game. And then if you win that game, you get the winner of Baylor and Princeton. A Princeton
Real
team that
tough.
shocked everybody last year and brought back a lot of guys, and a Baylor team that's really good.
Man, Scott Drew, wonder if he's still seething over having his character assassinated here
that's right.
when he was almost the Memphis head coach. In true character assassination.
Really bad. And they unveiled a new arena last night. Really good looking.
Baylor did?
Sure did.
Much needed.
Oh, yeah, and it looks really good. I saw some pictures last night before their game and kind of dipped in to try to see glances at it. If they got out of that, which would be, they could do it, they would get Purdue's the number 1 seed, but look who's right there in the 8-9 game, Ole Miss.
I don't know if Ole Miss would. I don't know if they'd beat Dayton, and I sure don't think they'd beat Purdue to set up something crazy in Detroit.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. But that would be interesting. But one thing I've been thinking about a lot, seeing as we only have a couple minutes here, and we've been talking heavy college basketball here. The disappointment of a start of the year the Pac-12 has been this year. I mean, you look at teams like UCLA,
USC.
really seems like just a thrown-together team. USC with bringing back Boogie Ellis, who was a preseason All-American preseason player of the year in that conference. You bring in the number 1 prospect in the country, and then obviously you're going to get the story of and the notoriety of Bronny James. And, I mean, both of those teams, the two big teams in the Pac-12, just doing absolutely nothing this year.
Arizona, they're doing their part of it.
They're a good team. I like Arizona.
But that league's image for 60 years has been set by what UCLA does.
And really just struggling.
And the last year of it.
Yeah.
I haven't caught Bill Walton all year. He's going to lose it at some point this year.
When he finally realizes that this is the last year.
Who breaks the news to him?
I don't want to be the person to break the news to him. Now, I saw him on a broadcast.
Was he cogent?
At some point. I was at a restaurant, and they just went over to the desk, and I saw him there, and I was like, oh.
He will have a meltdown.
He will. I'm sure.
Especially
he's already
toward the end.
Oh, yeah, when it's really coming down the line. No, but it's interesting. I'm curious with getting into conference play if one of those two
then
teams
next
can bounce
year,
back.
And I think he would and should if he does games. I don't think he'll play along. What are we doing in the Big 12 or the Big 10 or whatever it is?
I think perfect there for Big Ten and get him in for those USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon.
Wouldn't you go and plead to him? Look, Bill, you get to do the league. Coach Wooden was a Purdue guy. You can go back to his roots and your relationship. I don't care about that. he may lose it.
What I would love to see is him just completely turning on the the Pac-12 and go, well, this is the Big Ten next year, and
But he can't because all of his success came in that Conference of Champions to him.
Yes, but it's gonna be a different world for him certainly, and I don't know, like you said, how he's gonna take it. Let's get to our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
Yo, Mark, long time no see. You still down at Dyer's?
Man, I'm not down at Dyer's. I'm out at Collierville Historic Town Square.
When'd you move out there?
We've been out there for about 13 years. We've got the shops, the park. We got the train the kids like to play on.
You still cooking those burgers the old-fashioned way?
Man, we're still flattening out those hamburger balls on a slab of marble and skillet frying them the old-fashioned way like they've been doing for 100 years.
Dude, you still have those onion rings.
Man, they're fantastic. Hand-breaded, served up just right.
I loved those milkshakes. shakes. Please tell me you're still doing those.
Man, we are hand dipping those shakes, putting them in the old glass, and the shake tin served the old-fashioned way.
You got any new items out there I need to know about?
We're just doing a lot of gourmet sandwiches. We've got farm-raised catfish straight out of the Delta. We've got some hot tamales from Pasquale's Tamales out of Helena, Arkansas.
Man, are they served in the husk?
What those guys like to say, they're so good, you'll suck the shuck.
Go see my buddy Mark at Dyer's Cafe in Collierville's historic town square.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
The final horse now in the gate, and they're off. They're starting off with a double toe loop jump, leaving a difficult 7-10 split. As there's movement on the inside rail. Only 9 pins separate them now as they head to the final quarter mile. They're neck and neck. It's down to the last frame. Here comes the axle jump. They bundled their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Win, strike, savings, gold.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot & Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Baby, here I am, I'm a man on the scene. I can give you what you want, but you can go. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye, hello, Haskell. It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, what I learned today is that we got an update on Dylan Johnson, the running back for Washington that went down late in the game against Texas.
Almost cost him the game. He couldn't help it.
Yeah, it really did. And it's really unbelievable to look at, we know what Michael Penix does, but you got 2,000-yard receivers for Washington and a 1,000-yard runner. I mean, no team has all
Transfer
that.
from Mississippi State.
Yeah, I mean, a really, really good player Dylan Johnson is. And so Kalen DeBoer talked about it today. He said it's something he's been working through for a couple of months now. He's playing through it. There's nothing as far above and beyond what's happened in the past. Throughout the game, he re-aggravated it, shook it off, go back out there and play. My thoughts are he'll be ready to go. So looks like he'll be able to go, and that's definitely something that they'll need Monday night against a really good Michigan defense.
I learned today the Grizzlies last night, they played well, but they have to do it again tonight. 3rd home win of the season last night. I think they need to go around 21-5, 20-6, 22-4, something with a 2 in front of it the rest of the way at home to have any playoff hope.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. What I could have done without, Brett, I don't know if you saw this earlier today, and I haven't gotten an update on it. They just showed something about it on Sports Center, but I didn't. Obviously, we can't hear in here. I didn't see if they had an update on the screen. But today, Tyreek Hill's house, there was a fire inside his house, and I know earlier today they were out there trying to, get it out, but it looked like a big fire. Certainly, I don't believe anybody was inside the house, which is
he was just being
good.
interviewed.
I saw that pop up. So hopefully everything is fine. Obviously, terrible anytime you have a house fire or anything like that. But hopefully everybody was safe, nobody was harmed, and that again, just the safety of everybody.
For sure. And the Dolphins had the Chubb injury, kind of going the wrong way for them right here at the end of the year. I could have done without. I mentioned it with Kevin Sweeney. I've talked about it a couple of times. All the crying about the Tigers being ranked, it does not matter. We know now these metrics that matter: net, Ken Palm, strength of schedule, racking up big wins in the AAC. That's all that matters. Starts tomorrow against Tulsa.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me to FedEx Forum, heading downtown to my first Grizzlies game of 2024. I'm 1-4 on the season so far this year. I'm going to try to double my win total tonight and start 2024 undefeated.
I like it. Beam me tonight to an ACC matchup, Georgia Tech versus Florida State in college basketball.
That's Damon Stoudemire versus Leonard Hamilton.
That's right. Should be a great game. Georgia Tech looks much improved, unfortunately, than what they were the past couple of years. They look really good, playing very well. Florida State, they've got some players, but right now sitting at 500, they really kind of need a boost going into conference play.
And this is usually the time that Leonard Hamilton gets it figured out in what could be his last year.
Yeah, I was about to say, right now they're sitting at 500. If this, season doesn't go, great, and even if it does go great, this really could be the last year for him.
And we talked about West Virginia earlier. Have you even, has it registered to you no Huggins this year?
Yeah,
you even thought about it?
Oh, absolutely.
I really hadn't.
Really? Wow. Well, maybe with them being more on TV with conference play rolling around, maybe it will. But yeah, no, it hits me. I've kind of gone out and watched their team play a lot. I think he showed up to a game recently, so he's still kind of around there and involved in it. So, but no, they haven't had a great start to the season either.
We'll keep an eye on a lot tonight. 12 NBA games tonight.
Yeah,
Clippers at Phoenix. New Orleans at Minnesota, I think, are the two best games of the night. But I mentioned earlier, Clemson at Miami, FDU. Memphis fans need to cheer for Clemson in that one. Clemson 11-1 against 10-2 Miami.
Brett, how about a Wednesday night NBA game on ABC tonight?
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Bulls and Knicks, 7:30 on ABC.
Of course, if you're on ABC here locally on DirecTV, you don't get it.
Yeah, so hopefully you're going down to the Grizzlies game because you won't be watching NBA basketball.
When will that be resolved? That loggerhead started around conference championship weekend, so 1st of December. This is getting protracted. Time to get it corrected.
Time to figure it out. Yeah, no, I unfortunately had to explain to a lot of Tennessee fans over the weekend that they would not be able to watch the Volunteers.
Well, I was looking to listen to Tennessee the other day and had trouble finding it.
Yeah, that was weird too. They were off air, and then I think came back on halfway in the game.
I was wanting to listen to the pregame show New Year's morning.
Yeah, no, it certainly didn't get that. But, no, it should be a really fun night. If you like basketball, it's a really good night. Like you said, 12 NBA games loaded.
It's time for Phoenix to get it in gear.
You're absolutely right about that. And, they could do it tonight, a turnaround tonight maybe. I don't know. But a lot of games.
I didn't know there was an ABC game.
It blew your mind, didn't it?
It really did.
Who knew? But no, it should be a lot of fun. Grizzlies should be a lot of fun tonight. Only a 1-point favorite tonight against the Raptors. It's a 13-20 team going up against 11-22 team. But make no mistake about it, this Grizzlies team is much improved with the addition of
Grizzlies got to win that one tonight.
They've got to win it tonight. So we'll see what happens down at FedEx Forum here in about an hour. We'll get a lot of really good college basketball games, like Brett said. But that'll do it for us for today. Enjoy your night. If you're heading downtown right now for the Grizzlies, safe travels, and cheer the Grizzlies to a victory because they need this one tonight against the Raptors. Enjoy your night. We'll do it again tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock.